I don't know. On Rumble, it's still.
Rumble's live as of 44 seconds ago, and live as of 5 seconds ago.
Bro, I hate technology, man. Shit is so fucking gay. Okay, yeah, we're live on. Oh, yeah, we're live everywhere. All right, I can see myself. Can they hear? Guys, give me ones in the chat if we're good. Give me ones in the chat if we are good, guys. Her thing's off.
Hello?
Yep,
Ooh,
I can hear you.
finally. Yes.
All right. 1, 2, 3. Test, test, test. 1, 2, 3. Test, test, test. All right, ninjas, give me ones in the chat if you guys could hear me. Okay, I see a bunch of ones. All right. Welcome to the stream, motherfuckers. All right. Coming to you guys live from Penn State, out in Pennsylvania, out in the boonies. Had to take 3 different planes to get out here, but we're here today. As you guys know, today is October 14th, the birthday of Charlie Kirk, and today's show is going to be dedicated to him. Actually, I have my Freedom shirt on, but it's really cold up here in the Northeast. I haven't dealt with this cold in a while. But, you know, I think it's very important that, you know, we continue to have these discussions, right? If you're not willing to say things and if you're too worried about, you know, offending people, then we can't really have real discourse. Because for ideas to actually be tested and get to the truth, you have to be willing to have tough conversations. And I think that's what Charlie stood for. And in memorial of him, we're going to make sure that we make this a good one. We're going to keep coming out to these campuses. And, you know, for me, just a quick little background. As you guys know, I started doing the college stuff roughly around last year, late last year. Or actually, no, last spring. And we had done a few schools. And the day that Charlie was assassinated, tragically, the next day I actually had UNC, University of North Carolina, Asheville, lined up. And I had to cancel it, you know, right then and there. And I remember like a million people sending me texts like, hey, man, you good? What's going on? Because everyone knew I had literally a college speech the next day. But and a lot of people said, hey, man, you got to stop going to these colleges. You got to stop doing X, Y, Z. And I said, you know what? No, man, we're gonna keep pushing. We're going to keep Charlie's memory alive. We're not going to let these weirdos scare us away from having these difficult conversations, even if it means that we got to take a risk. And that's just life in general, right? So you're going to live on your feet or die on your knees, right? That's what it really comes down to. So, oh, yeah, you can put that right there. Thank you. So, yeah, today, it's not, what's the, man, this is, I will tell you guys this, man. It's kind of crazy being back in the Northeast. I'm looking around and I see, maybe we could show them a shot, Sean, or something like that, of the wide shot. Like, it's fall. And I see, like, trees, leaves changing colors again. I haven't seen that in years. So it's always feels good to come back to the Northeast every now and then. Even though it's cold, man, I've gotten soft. I've become a pussy now. Got a vest on, a hoodie, and I'm still freezing. But, yeah, today's topics, guys, we're going to be talking about immigration, gender dynamics, obviously, right? Why men are better than women at everything. We're also going to talk about ICE and immigration. So, and as you guys know, we have the mic there. Where are we at? We're like right in dead set in the center of the campus, pretty much. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, man, rest in peace to Charlie Kirk. Today's stream is absolutely going to be dedicated to him. Right, we're going to keep the fight going. He didn't die in vain. And yeah, rest in peace to him and condolences to his family, obviously. Anyway, yeah, so the topic at hand today, guys, 2 main things. We're going to be covering ICE. I got a sign here that says ICE did nothing wrong, okay? And I'll kind of give a quick little preamble here on what we're discussing. So as you guys know, Donald Trump won the presidency late last year. Got inaugurated, brought in around January 20th. And one of the things that he campaigned on was going harder on immigration. Now, for those that are unaware, we have a very big immigration problem here in the United States. People come here, both legally and illegally, and abuse the system, whether they come in through the southwest border, where a lot of them do come in, or they come in legally via visa, or or whether they come in with visa waiver or a visa or a student visa or whatever it may be, or they come in through the border, we have a huge problem with immigration because we're getting beat on many different ends. Because a lot of people tend to think that the immigration problem is simply just people come in illegally from the southwest border. But the reality is that people are beating us also when they come in legally and overstaying their visa. And then on top of that, you have other individuals that come in legally, their status is about to expire, and then they engage in marriage fraud, document benefit fraud, etc., and then are able to effectuate a longer stay here illegally through those means. So, as you guys can see, this is a very complex issue in the United States. Now, for many years, right, what most administrations focused on was catching illegal aliens that come in through the border or coming in through maritime smuggling into South Florida and kind of, deading it there. Hey, you're trying to come in, we catch you, we release you, we send you back, whatever. Or in some crazy situations, like the Biden administration, they let them actually stay, sign what's called a notice to appear, and let them go further into the United States, right? And then by the time their immigration hearing comes out and they got to see an immigration judge, what ends up happening is they wait for years and then they just go out into the wind. They pick up a job, they get married to somebody, whatever it may be, their status changes. So the status in which they came, a lot of the times, either changes where they have a family now or they're married, or they just go out into the wind and you can't find them. And this has been a problem for a very long time because anything that didn't get caught at the border, effectively, you're probably not going to get removed if you made it into the interior of the United States once you leave the functional equivalent of a border. So to combat this, what Donald Trump has basically been doing is he's been leveraging the many different federal agencies that we have, whether it's FBI, DEA, HSI, ATF, all these different agencies, who a lot of them don't even have immigration authority, Chad. Immigration authority is actually reserved for only just a few agencies that have Title 8 authority. And they've been doing raids all across the United States. Obviously, this has caused an uproar, especially in blue cities like New York City, Portland, LA, etc. We saw riots all over LA. We see what's going on right now in Portland. We see what's going on in Chicago. And the reason why this is such an uproar is because this has been a problem that we've effectively been kicking down the road for a very long time, where people come in, if they make it past the functional equivalent of a border, they're able to stay pretty much, and ERO, or ICE, Immigration Enforcement, ICE, Immigration Customs Enforcement, the ERO component, Enforcement Removal Operations, they have not been able to do what they need to do, which is do interior enforcement. And the reason why this is a shock to so many people is because this is a problem that we've let be pent up for a while, and now that they're going out and actually doing their jobs, it's looked at as, oh my God, this is so inhumane and so messed up. But the reality is that these people are here illegally. It's very simple. They're here illegally. They got here whether through a visa or coming in through the southwest border, and they need to be removed. Some of these people, a lot of these people are criminals. They have convictions, whether it's for misdemeanors or felonies. A lot of these people don't have paperwork. A lot of these people are committing crimes while they're here. Well, technically, if you're an illegal alien, you're committing a crime anyway. Right? And people tend to forget that and say, oh, no, committing immigration crimes and being here illegally is not a crime. It absolutely is. 8 U.S.C. 1325. Illegal entry. Boom. All day. Right? Or if you've been deported before and you're back here again, that's actually a felony. 8 U.S.C. 1326. Right? Or if you help an alien stay in the United States illegally, that's called 8 U.S.C. 1324, harboring and transporting illegal aliens. You guys are probably wondering, Myron, how do you know these numbers off the back of your head? Well, because I used to enforce them. I used to be a special agent of Homeland Security. So I remember, I know these types of cases like the back of my hand: immigration, INA, customs, etc. This is what I used to do. So the reality is, if you're here illegally, you are committing a crime. Whether it's administrative or not, you are committing a crime. And if you've been deported before or you've been removed, and you're here again, that's actually a felony under 8 U.S.C. 1326. Feel free to look it up. So the premise today is ICE did nothing wrong, right? And obviously, from what I explained before, with all the issues that we've had with immigration, this is where we are now, and we're enforcing the law, and all these blue cities are losing their mind. And just so you guys know, these blue cities are a part of the problem, these sanctuary cities. These sanctuary cities have basically allowed for these aliens to have sanctuary, no pun intended, and not have to deal with the consequences of coming to the United States illegally, overstaying their visa, document benefit fraud, etc. So that's where we are. We are actually allowing law enforcement to do their jobs, and people are getting pissed off about it because no other president has had the balls to actually conduct interior immigration enforcement. It's all easy to do border enforcement, but it's much harder to do it once it's in the interior. This is why you guys are seeing Border Patrol agents all over the United States in interior cities where they typically and traditionally would not have authority, because since we've been able to close down the border, now they're focusing on the illegal aliens that are in. And whether you like Donald Trump or not, one thing you can say is that he's absolutely handled this immigration problem. And actually, immigration was the second most important issue as to why I voted. You guys know me. I'm hardcore anti-war. I don't want a war with Iran. The Israelis control America. They have way too much influence. As a matter of fact, interesting news, the Israelis already broke the ceasefire. Who saw that coming, right? So that's where we stand. But yeah, guys, I see some of you guys here. If any of you guys want to come on up to the mic, if you agree, disagree, you want to have a conversation about it, let me know. Don't be scared. I promise I won't make fun of you. But yeah, everybody could come up. Yeah. What's up, man? Yo.
Grab the mic, or do I just like hold it up to my
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm just going to be fully transparent. I fully agree with you. I totally agree with what ICE is doing. But I do have a question related to Charlie Kirk, if that's okay.
Sure.
And there's sort of a preamble, because I do have a channel on YouTube. It's mainly related to like movie reviews and stuff. But Charlie Kirk's assassination really affected me in a very profound and deep way, because on this campus, I used to be a part of a lot of conservative groups, including Turning Point USA. And they held events here, like Charlie Kirk was here. So the fact that he was assassinated on a college campus, like, really shows that how it could really happen anywhere, at least to me. But people in my sphere of like movie reviewers, I saw a lot of large personalities like saying that he deserved it, and that frankly horrified me. And some would even like post videos like saying, using like malicious out of context clips that you're probably aware of. Like they would say he encouraged an attack on Paul Pelosi, when if you look at the full context, he was making he was making a comment on how horrific our bail reform laws are, where if you're like a violent criminal, you can be out with on no cash bail and reoffend. But if you're a rich politician like the Pelosi's, you get a pat. Like they're not given that luxury, and they're just held indefinitely. And another one would be would be when people said that he said like an anti-Chinese slur when he was talking to Cenk Uygur of the Young Turks. Pretty stupid. But I would like point out, like, hey, there's more to this. Like, there's a lot of disinformation being spread around it, and they would say that I'm an apologist for racism, anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, transphobia, etc. And they wouldn't say that he outright deserved to be assassinated, but they said that he kind of got what was coming by doing what he was doing. And I'm just wondering how much of this is like genuinely from their how much of this is genuinely their opinion or what they're being told, because a lot of their opinions come from Hollywood, right? So to what degree is Hollywood radicalizing a lot of people to think like that, to look at like half the country as Nazis, or to essentially radicalize them? And
Yeah.
And what would you say are like the worst like lessons they're being that's being fed to the masses, and what sort of messaging you would use or say to counter signal that sort of messaging?
Yeah, so the problem is this, right? So this is what progressives, liberals, whatever they want to call themselves, I call them retards, but what they basically do is they need to dehumanize your position first, so that they can go ahead and either enact violence on you without feeling bad, or because they look at you as subhuman, or B, to say we don't even want to talk to you because you're a Nazi or whatever. So here's the thing with the left. It's actually like a deflection tactic. They know that they can't actually sit down and debate a conservative most of the time, right? Are we right about everything? No. But we're right about a lot more things than they are, because we tend to be on the side of reality, right? There's two genders. You can't go sit here and take a boy and turn him into a girl. It just doesn't work that way, right? Blacks commit a disproportionate amount of crime. Jews have too much power. Women are stupid. So they get pissed off when you say this stuff, and they don't want to necessarily have a conversation, because what you end up doing is you destroy their fake world reality when you're discussing these topics, especially if you do it in a manner that's candid and frank. So instead of actually debating and having their worldview destroyed by reality, they have to label you a Nazi or some other pejorative term, right? So that they can justify in their head that you're not worthy of debating, right? And this is what they do. And in some extreme cases, they think, oh, violence is totally condoned against these people because they're not human. So that's the ideology that they operate in. Because, you know, and I know a lot of people hate Destiny, but one thing I will give him credit for is that he'll sit and debate conservatives. Most of these guys on the left don't. All the biggest left-wing political commentators and progressives, they don't do debates. They just sit in their room, analyze the news, have Trump derangement syndrome, say conservatives suck, or right-wingers are, you know, bigots or whatever, and that's it. They don't want to sit across the table and actually debate us most of the time. So, you know, so if we're going to go ahead and fix this problem, I think coming over to the college campuses and talking with the new America, because all these people are here at the school. This is the future of the United States. And the problem with these universities is we have way too much woke indoctrination, right? And I could say this as someone that went to a prestigious school in the Northeast, Northeastern, 6% acceptance rates, whatever, which is super woke in Boston, Massachusetts. I see the problem getting worse. And this is back when I graduated in 2013. So I think we need to really, and this is why what Charlie was doing was so great, because he was coming into these college campuses and having these discussions and kind of waking up students as to how the world really works. Because when you're here in a college campus, you're a student, and I was a student athlete, I lived on campus, I had the whole experience. You don't live in the real world. You're not paying taxes. You don't got to watch yourself when you're on the train around blacks. You don't got to, do any of this stuff. You're in a very safe and secure campus, and you don't have to deal with a lot of the problems real world problems that people do. So that's where I think the left falters. They're just not realistic, and they're not relatable to a lot of people, right? Especially to men. Kamala Harris wrote in her book that me and Andrew Tate, hurt her election, her presidential campaign election. But the reality is that she said we took all the young men because we were misogynistic, whatever. But what she doesn't understand is that she never had the young men. The left does not identify with young men. Like everything that men do, especially white men, is considered evil, bad, bigoted, racist, Nazi, blah, blah. So, the Democrats lost on their own, and that's their fault. But yeah, that's what I would say, just to kind of sum up the problems that we have on the left and how we've gotten here.
All right, well, thank you.
No worries, man. Thank you. I hope that answers the question. Anybody else want to come on up? Say what's up. Agree, disagree? ICE did nothing wrong. Jews control America. Blacks commit crimes. Women, for the most part, are stupid. Need to put them back in the kitchen. Don't be scared, guys. Got a couple y'all out here. You agree, disagree? If you agree, you could come up and say why you agree. Wasn't one of the guys someone was antagonizing you guys earlier, right? Yeah. Hey, Mr. Bandana, come on up to the mic, man. I know that you're not too happy that we're here. We can have a respectful discussion. Yeah. Dude, I don't bite. We can have a legit conversation. I think this is the important thing, is having two different ideologies, being discussed, and then the people can decide what they want. But that's the only way that we get to the truth. I can yap about it what? There's no debate about it? Why not? Okay, come say that on the mic so they can all hear you. Bro, did I not just say 10 minutes ago that liberals don't like to debate? Did I not just say that? This is being proven literally right now. Dude, we're live right now. There's no clip farming. This is streamed. This is live. So nothing is going to get clip farmed. You're literally going to be live. We can't, the footage is there. So you're not going to get clip farm, man. Well, that kind of proves my point. I told you guys the left doesn't like to debate, bro. What did I say? I mean, it's You want to, dude, just come to the mic because they can't hear you. He said I will debate you after Culture Wars. What? We're not going to bring the mic to you. Dude, it's right there. Yeah, it's live. Okay, can you come to the mic so they can hear you? You're asking about H2A visa workers. Come. They can't hear you. No, they can't hear you. Okay, this guy.
I'm having a hard time hearing you.
Yeah. Now, he doesn't care about they anymore. Aren't you supposed to like they, them? Aren't you supposed to like they, them? I'm confused.
May I translate?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Now, he's your mouthpiece now. Go ahead. Someone has balls.
Whoop! You getting that, Myron? Your retort.
I don't
Are
know.
you finished?
That's it?
Está
Look, the
terminado.
only reason, like, so for the audience that's listening in right now, watching, he was harassing the guys here as they were setting up. So I'm like, look, dude, if you were definitely harassing one of my guys, which is fine. I don't have there's nothing wrong with disagreeing with people.
I think
Like,
he's done.
let me make this very clear. You have your worldviews, that's fine. Like, I respect your worldviews, and I think that, and I would fight actually to have your worldviews defended, whether I agree with them or not. That's what makes this country great. So, okay, then come say it on the mic, dude, so they can hear you.
Mahmoud Khalil was sent to an ICE detention camp for his free speech, and you defend that, right?
No, actually, hold on. You know what's funny? He's talking about Mahmoud Khalil, for those of you that are wondering. It's funny that you said that. You must...
You said you defend my free speech.
Yep.
But you support ICE detaining somebody for using their free speech?
Okay.
That's fucked up.
Getting emotional. Okay. So let me actually address... Do you watch my content, bro? Probably not, right? That's fine. You probably don't.
I've seen that shit.
Okay, you've seen some clips. So it's funny you mentioned Mahmoud Khalil. So let me here's the thing with Mahmoud Khalil. I actually don't like that they did that. I actually took his side. I actually said that getting deported or getting put in ICE custody for, making comments and being critical of Israel is a big problem. I defend the First Amendment even if I disagree with the individual. So, yeah, you're wrong on that take, bro, because I literally have been one of the biggest advocates for him not getting deported because I think anti-Semitism laws are a big problem. And this is what I mean when I say Jews control America. No other group of people would be able to get someone deported, right, for speech, political speech, besides the Zionist lobby and the Jews. But look, now he's going to walk away. I'm not clip farming, bro. You're the one embarrassing yourself by not wanting to get on the mic. Okay, this is coward. All right, that's fine. That's fine, bro. It's fine. You were wrong on the Mahmoud Khalil position. You're scared to come up on the mic. You can antagonize my guys behind the scenes, but once the cameras are on and you can actually have your ideology pushed out, you don't want to do it. And that's the problem with the left. Like, you guys literally just chirp from the background, don't have real discussions, can't defend your belief systems. I'm not even talking to you anymore. I'm just talking about leftists in general. I'm talking to leftists in general. So, yeah. Okay, so...
So don't fucking talk to me and get the fuck out. Get out. Nobody's talking to you. No one's debating you. Leave.
You're a fucking retard. That's what I got to say. You're a fucking retard. Like, I don't know who the fuck you think you're talking to, buddy, but you're a fucking retard. Okay? This is the problem with America right here. Fucking pussies like this guy, right? That quite literally can't stand on their beliefs, can talk all the shit from the side, but they're fucking cowards and can't actually defend their belief system within the crucible of debate. You've been acting like a woman the whole fucking time, getting emotional, raising your voice, being rude and disrespectful, not defending your ideology. You're a typical retarded leftist. This is why they call them libtards. And the reality is we got to call you fucking dumbasses out. I'm not the guy, buddy. Okay? I could practice decorum and everything else like that, but when I see retards, mouth-breathing fucking morons like you got to call it out. Window-licking fucking retards. No, we got to call it what it is. We got to call it what it is. You're a coward and a window-licking retard. So it is what it is. Anyway, anyone else want to come up on the mic? We could discuss retards, how we got to put them back in asylums. We could discuss why women are inferior to men. We could discuss how Jews control America, how blacks commit too much crime, how ISIS did nothing wrong. If you agree, disagree, don't be scared to come up on the mic. Even if you agree, you can come on up and give us your take. They don't want to get called a retard. Oh, there you go. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. What's
I
your
might
name?
not stay for long. My name's Ashton.
Nice to meet you, Ashley. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. I was just wondering, I heard you say women are inferior to men.
Yes.
I've never heard that take before, so I wanted to know why you would say that.
Sure. When I say that women are inferior to men, what I mean by that is that we're superior. And what I mean by that is that the world and everything that we've come to pretty much learn to love and enjoy was created by men. Women don't really provide the same level of structure and innovation that men do. 90% plus of inventions that we've been able to, modernize the world with were created by men. Men lead, women follow. Now, this isn't to say that men have inherent more. This isn't to say that men have more value, like more life value. Obviously, we're all human. We're all equal in that regard, right? When it comes to dignity and humanity, etc. But when it comes to the responsibilities of a society, being the leaders, being the protectors, men are superior in that regard, and the things that matter. And I'd take it a step further. I think the reason why we need to be superior is because women are subordinates to us, and we are responsible for protecting them. Right? I don't think women should work. I don't think they should be focusing on, getting an education, getting a career. Though I do understand we're in modern times and inflation is tough. I don't have a problem with a woman pursuing school and a career, but that should take a back seat to finding a man and creating a family and then leaving the workforce as soon as you're able to do so.
Sure. Okay. But the word superior is implying better than, right? You say that men don't have more value, but you are better than women because
that's a fact.
You lead things.
Yes, we're physically superior. Most geniuses are men. Most inventors are men. Men are just better than women at almost everything.
That is not true. That's how society was set up over a long period of time.
Okay, what are women better at men than?
Emotional intelligence.
Define emotional intelligence.
Understanding other people's emotions, being emotionally aware, providing with support. And this is proven. I've taken leadership classes about effective leadership, and women are more effective leaders when it comes to emotional needs. Men are better at meeting logistical needs, and that's why we need both and women to succeed.
Okay, so then
that is true.
Why isn't the world female run then, if that's the case?
Because men typically meet those leadership needs, which is why.
Because we're better leaders.
Maybe so, but that doesn't mean you're superior. You might be superior.
By definition,
leaders.
you're superior. If we are better leaders, we're superior.
At keeping the human race going. Women who give birth, we're much superior at.
Well, you need a man to do that.
Right.
So that's that's not women by themselves. You need a man to have a kid.
Absolutely, you do. But
yeah,
women are the reason why children exist. Without women giving birth, children would not exist.
Well, you need sperm to do it. It's a two-part thing. It's not something that's exclusive only to women. You need a man to do it. But there's many things men can do that women simply can't.
And there's things women can do that men
can't have kids,
do.
but you literally need a man to do that too.
Right, but you
and
need
men are
both
physically
to
superior.
Succeed.
What's that?
And women are superior in so many other ways, as I
like
just
what?
said.
Emotional intelligence?
Yes, it's true. It is literally proven. I wish I could tell you the study off the top of my head, but I just literally took a class on this, and it is proven. That's true.
Being able to be more emotional, when you're getting your cramps during your period, doesn't mean that you're superior. I would argue that's
insulting and is not what I'm saying. Emotional intelligence, I mean, if you are someone's manager, you can understand where they are coming from to better meet their needs, to come to a solution of a problem.
So why is it that
you're
most
having.
women prefer male bosses then?
I would disagree with that.
Most women, when polled, prefer male bosses.
Well, because maybe men are natural leaders, which is okay.
There you go, which is why we're superior.
And I'm not debating that men are natural leaders, but that does not make you superior.
But if we are better,
there's no correlation there.
By using the word better, you're implying superiority.
Leader is one thing in life. How many things can you be
We're better than you guys at everything.
How many things are there to be
We're
good
better than
at
you guys
in
at
life?
sports. We're better cooks. We're better cleaners even. Men run
are
sanitation.
Not better cooks, better cleaners.
Oh, the best chefs are all men.
You're just like
the only thing women
could
could really do that's better is maybe make a sandwich. But if we got like a top chef to do it, he would still probably win. If we're going to be honest,
people are individuals.
What was that?
People are individual people.
Of course, but I'm speaking in general.
I might be a better cook than you.
Well, that's your job.
You just said men are better cooks.
Well, yeah, at the pinnacle, male chefs.
You can't even
at the
keep
pinnacle,
your facts
male
straight.
chefs.
Look, yeah.
At the pinnacle, okay, of chefs, they're all male dominated.
Okay.
And I think like women should be cooking, so it's not really like my job. But even when men go into a field that is female dominated, we're better.
That's not true.
I just
I'm not
demonstrated.
going to entertain this anymore, but that's not
Okay.
true. I feel bad for you.
You feel
Have a
bad?
good
You couldn't
one.
refute anything I said. Yeah, that's pretty much that's feminism for you guys.
And thank you for getting up to the mic for our.
Yeah. No, good sport. I know she was nervous. Thanks for coming on. What's up?
I watch a lot of your stuff on YouTube.
Yeah.
Very entertaining.
I
Very
appreciate that, man.
entertaining.
Thank you.
All of what you've done with Sneeko and
Yeah.
Zerka, and the biggest thing that you do is you get people to think differently, which
Absolutely.
is something
Appreciate
that
that.
everyone can have admiration for. What are your thoughts on the T app? This is something that it's come out
T-app.
recently.
Oh yes, the one that was like
it's
exposing
anonymous,
guys.
exposing. There's women in the T app now, like a women's version now. I'm curious to think what you have to say.
Yeah,
about
no, I mean the T-app demonstrates the insane double standard we have in society, where women are able to objectify men with no consequence. Meanwhile, men are not able to objectify women, right? Or especially when women objectify themselves. If we're going to be honest, these girls dress like sluts, and then expect you to, respect them. It's like it's ridiculous.
There's a male version now for women.
For women?
So it's a two-sided thing.
Yeah. When did it come out? And it didn't.
It's been this is all recent within the last year.
The thing is that, because there's many different, reiterations of this. Like Facebook came out with it before, where it was like, oh, are we dating the same guy, etc. Like, so the reality is that women are able to criticize, compartmentalize, and attack men with very little, consequence. But like for men, like you can definitely get fired from your job, get in trouble, whatever it may be. Like it's okay to, punch up on men like a piñata, but it's not okay to do it on women. As a matter of fact, this is why so many women are delusional, is because they never get criticized, right? So, and that's another thing too, I think, is that I think women live life on easy mode, especially in 2025. They have more advantages. They have more opportunities than men do by far. Okay, all right. I guess, anybody else want to come up to mic? If you guys agree, disagree, want to make a point, want to have a talk. The topics are, we could go anywhere. ICE did nothing wrong. Women are dumb. Jews control America, and that's not good. Muslims are terrorists. I don't know.
What do you think as far as like building a brand, a self-brand? Do you think it's really important for young people to get into that? You've obviously done that, and all these people in your relationship group have done that. What would you say is the biggest thing you notice about like people like, all these influential people, Zerka, Andrew Tate, Sneeko, the people that you're around? What's a similar trait that you notice about all of them?
The number one thing is authenticity. Authenticity. If you're authentic, what's going to end up happening is a lot of people are going to be able to relate to you. If a lot of people can relate to you, they're going to trust you. If they're going to trust you, they're going to like you. Then if they like you, then they're going to want to watch you. So this is why, like, I, call a spade, whether it's, I use slurs, right? It is what it is. We all know what words I'm talking about. We're on YouTube, so I'm trying to keep it somewhat clean. But yeah, like, that is the number one thing, is authenticity, especially in today's day and age where so many people are fake. So that's the number one thing. And this is why guys like me and Andrew Tate, Nick Fuentes, Sneeko, all my buddies, that's why we've all been able to be fairly successful. Now, with that said, it goes to a level because you can't become like an A-list type celebrity or be like super huge while being base. It just can't happen. You'll get clipped. You'll get banned, right? Because Andrew Tate took over in 2022. What'd they do? They banned him everywhere, right? So, which, by the way, I know you guys have been asking me. Andrew's going to be in America soon. He'll come on the show. Don't worry. Okay. So, man, I hope that answers your question. But authenticity, brother, is the main thing.
Yeah. I have a disagreement now.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, there we go. So I trust you heard about the firing of Kingman Lee, the conservative commentator on Twitter, over his posts.
What was that?
You know who Kingman Lee is, right? The South Korean conservative commentator.
No.
Okay. So he's a guy who worked on a college campus. Oh, sorry. He's a guy who worked on a college campus but was fired for his posts. Some of which were pretty funny. He said fat people shouldn't exist, and they said that was like a calls for genocide or some shit. But other posts were like about how we should repeal the 19th Amendment. I don't think he should have been fired, but that's not something I personally agree with. But
I think we should repeal the 19th. I don't think women should have the right to vote. I agree.
Do you think you could explain why?
Why? Okay, so my position on the 19th Amendment, which is the right to vote for women, basically the reason why I say I think we should repeal it is because, well, number one, women are single-issue voters, right? They vote typically for whoever's going to let them be a whore and kill babies, typically is what they do, which tends to be Democrats. Number two, women have no skin in the game. I find it absolutely preposterous that women are able to vote for the commander-in-chief who runs the military, who can send us to wars, but they have no skin in the game and don't have to go to war because men have to be in a selective service. A bunch of students here probably got loans or financial aid or whatever. That financial aid was contingent upon you guys being in a selective service, I'm sure, especially if you're a U.S. citizen, right? See a couple guys nodding along. So I find it preposterous that women are able to vote without having skin in the game. Right now, we could take it a step further, right? We could say, well, you know, a lot of guys are stupid too, and they shouldn't vote, which I would actually agree to that. Maybe we can impart like a civics exam or something like that before people vote. But I think with women, it just doesn't make sense, and they don't have skin in the game. Now, if she joins the military, gets some kind of government service or whatever it may be, then we could talk about that. But I'm a firm believer that if you don't have skin in the game, you shouldn't have a seat at the table.
Yeah. Well, if the state is going to impose force on citizens, no matter who they are, through taxes and threatening force if they don't pay the taxes, wouldn't you say that women, along with everyone else, has a skin in the game?
Yeah, you can make that argument, but they don't have the same skin in the game as we do. They might pay taxes and stuff, but they don't have the inherent skin in the game when it comes to serving in the military, which is what the president is.
Okay.
Right? The most important, political figure in the country.
Right. Well, are there any other ways that they could have a skin in the game without necessarily serving in combat, like serving as nurses or stuff like that?
I think if they join the military, number one, I think it should be one standard. I don't think we should water down standards so women could get in, because I think this whole woke ideology of let's focus on inclusivity versus performance, I think that's a very bad mantra. And whether people want to accept it or not, I think China is one of the biggest. Well, the biggest threat to America is Israel. But once we handle the the Israeli problem, oh God. Once we handle the Jewish/Zionist problem, then we could go ahead and focus on China, because I think China is rapidly expanding to a significant degree. Meanwhile, we're over here fighting wars in the Middle East for Israel, right, which is a big problem. We've been not focusing on the Far East, where we should be putting our resources. So,
you say that we should be more like China. Well, I'm pretty uneducated.
Well, no, not be more like, but like combat them.
Oh, okay.
Their growing influence and power.
Okay, well, do you think that's in part with how they treat women? Do you think they treat them like better or lesser than they do here? Like, not in terms of how do you say, like humane in a humane way, but just like an ethical way, like in terms of the country's standards.
Well, they're not as poisoned. I mean, feminism is seeping everywhere, but they're not as poisoned by feminism as we are here. Which I would argue, feminism is the root cause of almost every problem in every society.
Right.
Right. Because what ends up happening is so feminism used to be about equality between the genders, but now what it's become is a superiority between the genders in favor of women. But the problem is that we're giving women the favor when women aren't better than men at anything. Okay. Right? So it's like the analogy I'll use is like, let's say you have like a kid or whatever, right? My buddy Elijah always says this. Elijah Shaper, shout out to you, man. If you have like a kid, right, and they make like this painting with their fingers, right, and it looks like crap, but they give it to you and you're like, oh my God, this is so great. That's kind of how it is with women. Oh, it's so great that you're getting education and stuff, but do we really need someone else that has a liberal studies degree? Like, does it matter? Like, what is this? Or underwater basket weaving? Doesn't make sense. So that's kind of how I view women in the workforce and everything else like that. But but feminism it tells us to like encourage that. Like, yeah, like totally make that finger paint picture and let's go ahead and say it's awesome and it's Picasso, even though it sucks.
One last question. In China, like they have like a quote unquote like freer market as long as it benefits the state, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if it goes against the state, like whatever private company operating in China does, then the Chinese government immediately liquidates all of their assets.
Yeah,
right?
that's a problem.
Yeah. But
that's why capitalism is so great.
Yeah. But would you say that like feminism in China kind of works in a similar way, where the female empowerment is meant to go towards the state and not towards the individual? And would you say that's like more of what feminism is here in the United States?
Great point. Yeah, that's a communitarian type style, right? Which I don't think works for the most part. I think that's like, if you want to be like able to like make money, that's why people love America so much and come here, even though like we have all the problems that we have. people come here because of the financial opportunity in the capitalistic society that we have, where if you're willing to work hard, you can get ahead here, right? There's no excuse to not be successful in America. And other countries, unfortunately, don't have that. But yes, that style of governance is, you know, whether it's Marxism, socialism to a degree, communism, like, tends to lean more on, like, how women operate. Because one thing I've noticed about women, one of the biggest differences after talking to, like, 3,000 to 4,000 different girls on my show is women have a difficulty with understanding hierarchy. Right? So, like, with men, right, if a guy does, you know, the best guy, okay, you did the best today, you get $10. You did the second best, you get 8. You did the third, you get 7. With women, it's like you get $1, you get $1, you get $1, you get $1, regardless of performance. And I think that creates inherent problems as well. But this is because hierarchy is not really a structure for women. Because, like, for us, right, I'll explain what I mean by this. For men to get laid and get sexual access, we must rise up to the occasion, right? We're on a college campus right here, right? Who gets laid the most? The athletes, the frat guys. Why? Because they have status and they're on a hierarchy level. So a regular girl that no one knows, has no friends, can go to a, you know, college party here, meet one of the top athletes at one of these parties and one of the top frat guys and get smashed because her hierarchy doesn't matter to the male, to the male. But the male's hierarchy absolutely matters to her. So this is why women don't have a fundamental understanding of hierarchy, because it's not required for them to procreate like it is for us. So we inherently know, you know, you walk into a room with a bunch of guys, if there's a multimillionaire in there or a guy that has some type of status, all the guys naturally respect that guy and defer to his authority to a degree. Women don't operate that way. When they walk into a room, it's kind of like everyone's equal, yeah, you know, unless like one girl's fat or whatever. That's a whole other conversation. But they don't understand hierarchy when it comes to competence. It's very difficult for them to understand it because they don't have, their ability to procreate is not contingent upon their position within the hierarchy versus ours is. So we have to be cognizant of it at all times.
All right. Thank you for answering my question.
No worries, man. I hope that answered. Anybody else want to come on up? Oh, Mr. Lib is still there. Yeah, what's up, brother? Love the flag.
Thank you.
America only, my friends.
Yes, sir. So I got one question and then I got to go.
Sure, absolutely.
But
and thank you for your service.
thank you. What is your take on the rape allegations against Andrew Tate?
Bullshit. Complete bullshit. And I can say that with 100% confidence. So back in 2022 late 2022, I spent a month at their house in Romania. You know, they opened their home up to me and I hung out with them. And when these allegations came out of them human trafficking or holding women against their will, it was comical because I remember when I would go out with them or whatever, we'd have like after parties back at their house and they would tell the girls to leave and they wouldn't want to leave. So I was like, well, what do you mean they're human trafficking? Like, bro, the girls don't want to leave. So, and people think that they're like crazy misogynists or whatever. But the reality is like they treat women really well, right? Even when girls were disrespecting them at the house, they got them taxis, made sure they got home safe, all that stuff, you know. So Andrew and Tristan are above board, you know, honorable men. They're very respectful of women, contrary to what people think. And, you know, I think, you know, when you're an inherently masculine guy and you got your stuff together, whatever, and you understand that men and women aren't equal, you're going to tend to defer more to being a gentleman versus being a scumbag. It's just that people think that by embracing your masculinity, it makes you toxic. But I think that's actually what women want. So, but it's bullshit, man. It's been going on for a while, and you can see, like, nothing's actually come of it. No worries, man. Great question. And thanks for helping us set up earlier, by the way, too, man. Anybody else want to come on up? We can discuss anything. We could talk about why ICE did nothing wrong, why men are superior to women, how Jews have too much power. I don't know. Oh, someone want to say something? What's up, man? How are you?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
Good, good, good. Welcome to the mic.
Yeah, that's whatever, man. I'm just curious on your opinion.
Sure.
What do you think about the new Israel-Palestine deal?
Look, I'm glad that the genocide is over because it's stopping the genocide temporarily because it is a genocide despite what people want to say, right? These crazy Israelis, you know, oh, it's not a genocide. Oh, yeah, it's not happening. It's crazy. But then they get mad when you question a certain event from the 1940s. But anyway, right? It's like they deny a genocide, right, that's happening in 4K. Meanwhile, they'll get fucking butthurt if you say it's anything less than 6 million. So, but to answer your question, I think it's temporary. I mean, Israel already kind of broke the ceasefire this morning. But at least the genocide, for the most part, is done, and they're getting trucks in there. But you can't trust the Israelis to do anything, man, because the problem is that they have no accountability. And the reason why they have no accountability is because they control our government. I mean, Trump was at the Knesset like yesterday praising Miriam Adelson, saying that the Adelsons went to the White House more than other people and how she has all this money and all this other stuff. It's like literally he's admitting that we're owned by Israel, right? So, you know, oh, yeah, she came in and said we need to move the embassy to Jerusalem, all this other crap. So recognizing the Golan Heights, and this is because they have a ridiculous amount of influence. So since they have a ridiculous amount of influence in America and they lobby our politicians, they never get held accountable for their, you know, cowboy-style foreign policy. I mean, the fact that they bombed Qatar is fucking nuts. Like, that's one of our closest allies in the Middle East with our biggest military base, and they bombed them because the heads of Hamas were there. So they thought they had intel that they were going to, you know, have a meeting on the peace deal. The Israelis took that intel and they bombed them to try to get rid of them. They failed, made themselves look like an idiot, and then hurt us in the process. And then what did we have to do? Now we had to bend the knee and allow Qatari servicemen to basically be here in the United States and train and basically effectively open like damn near a military base for the Qataris here in America. And I guarantee that was because after the Israelis bombed them and we couldn't protect them, we had to sign an agreement with them, which basically has like a NATO type effect where an attack on them is an attack on us, right, to assure their security. And we're also opening up this base on their behalf. So this is what Israeli foreign policy does, where it puts us in a compromising situation with our allies where in exchange for them not retaliating against Israel, we have to make concessions on the other side. Hurts us diplomatically. And then on top of that, Saudi Arabia signed a deal with Pakistan, where an attack on Saudi Arabia is considered an attack on Pakistan, and Pakistan's our nuclear armed power, pushing them further into the Russian and Chinese realm of influence. So, you know, people will sit there and be like, oh, yeah, they bombed Qatar. You know, it isn't that big a deal. But it is because it has other trickle-down effects politically that put us in a very bad situation.
So how do you think we stop this? Like, how do we get IPAC out? How do we push them out of here?
I'll be honest, we got to remove Jews from government. Like, it's like you know, dual alliance Zionist Jews, they need to get removed from government. Like, you should not be able to hold a Israeli passport or have allegiance to another country if you're going to be a government employee, especially if you carry a clearance. We need to get rid of all the neocons. We need people that are not just America first, but America only, right? Because what they'll try to do is they'll try to conflate, oh, yeah, well, you know, supporting Israel is America first because they're our greatest ally in the region, blah, blah. No, get the fuck out of here. Like, half the problems that we have in the Middle East is because of our, you know, alignment with Israel and their recklessness. So I think we need politicians in that have an America-only policy, not even just America first. And dual allegiance Israelis with dual citizenship, big problem. Need to get them out of the government.
Gotcha. Thank you so much.
No worries, man. Great question. I like that hoodie, man. Rest in peace to Charlie. Okay. Anybody else?
So
Come on
just
up.
as a note, we can only have the mic for another like 3 minutes.
With amplified sound, but maybe we'll
Yeah.
turn it down a little bit and see if.
Well, yeah, no sound after. Yeah, we got 3 minutes for the sound, the amplified sound.
All right. What's
How's
up,
it
man?
going?
What's up, brother?
So I just wanted to ask, like, what's your, how should I say this? So I'm the only conservative in all my classes. And what would you say to somebody who's trying to combat liberal ideology on a daily basis with your professors? How would you go about that, and how could pretty much I can, you know...
Yeah, no worries. Number one, you know, understand that you're not alone. There's a lot of people that think like you, and, you know, kudos to you for coming up and admitting you're conservative on a college campus as a student. Much respect. But there's plenty of guys like you, it's just that they might not be as vocal about it. Now, when it comes to college professors, it's a part of the game, unfortunately, right? For them to get tenured, for them to get the position, for them to, you know, move up the ranks, they need to have this, you know, leftist indoctrination mindset for them to move up. So I think part of it is self-preservation, and then the other side of it is fairly delusion. So that's why I think it really comes down to when it comes to that.
Okay. Thank you so much.
No worries, man. Who else? Come on over, guys. Okay, you want to come on up? All right, man. Awesome. All right. Much respect to you for coming up on the mic.
All right. You want? I'm gonna do what you have on your billboard right here.
Okay. ICE did nothing wrong.
Okay. You. Okay. Do you know about?
All right.
All right. Do you know about the H-2A program for agricultural workers in the U.S.?
I'm somewhat familiar with it.
Okay, so the H-2A program
Yeah.
allows for agricultural workers from countries, for example, Latin America, East Asia, wherever. So come to the U.S. and they can work farms legally under legal precedence.
They can work what?
They can work legally in the U.S.
Okay.
Okay, but there is a lot of restrictions with that visa.
Okay.
Employers have a lot of jurisdiction over them, over the migrant workers. A lot of them aren't allowed to leave the facilities. And basically, a lot of violations have included accusations of literally live slavery. Slavery happening to these workers. They cannot leave. They have no jurisdiction over their rights. And a lot of them are facing conditions such as field housing. They don't have any property rights on top of tenants too, so they're not legally even tenants. And if you're a tenant renting, they don't even have property rights. You hear me? There's people out here who don't even have property rights. And they're coming here legally and being used as slave labor. People are being used as slaves right now here in America. And because of ICE not doing anything. ICE not doing anything but deport people who are here looking for a better life, looking to support their dream. These people, you can't even defend legal immigration through the H-2A program.
So, is your grievance with the visa or
with
ICE or both?
Because both. Because immigrants, even if you try to go through the legal process in this country, you can't even have your own freedom. You can't even have your own freedom. Because under this H-2A program, these migrant workers have the ability to rank and file and go about their business if the work isn't good. But workers under this condition don't even have a right as working people.
Let's address the visa first. When it comes to the visa, I've said this before. I think we need an immigration moratorium for 1 to 5 years so that we can fix the visa system because we have a broken visa system in the United States. This is what I was alluding to. We have a broken visa system. Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of problems, whether it's people overstaying their F1s or J1s, people coming out on B1, B2s and abusing it that way.
And that's a fault on employers, though. Yeah, that's not a fault on the people working.
No, I get that. But
that's not a fault on the employers.
But we need stricter regulation. We need to reform our entire visa and immigration program in the first place. Now, when it comes to your issues with ICE, what ICE is doing is simply deporting people that are out of status. It's that simple. Because this has been a problem that's been getting...
It's not as simple as out of status.
I mean, if they're out of status, they're out of status.
They're increasing their enforcement. But these people, these workers are the one who handle...
They're increasing their enforcement. Here's the thing. They're increasing their enforcement.
And the people can't even go legally through the process. Once they go legally through the process, they don't even have rights as people in this country. So even if you go legally through the process,
they actually do have rights.
Fucking rights.
Yeah, they do have rights. They go see an immigration judge.
Because these H-2A workers are under slave conditions.
Again, they do have rights if they're apprehended by ICE. They go see an immigration judge. The immigration judge makes the call. But you got to understand that immigration court is not the same as criminal court. Two completely different infrastructures. This is being live streamed, right? Yeah, it's live. Yeah. So there's a completely different infrastructure for immigration court versus a criminal court. Now, with that said, if people are here illegally, bro, it's pretty cut and dry. Are you out of status or not? If you're out of status, you're going to get deported. Simple as that. And we've been allowing people to kind of coast. Hold on. Let me just finish my point. The reason why, right? The reason why this is a problem, and we've been kicking this can down the road, is because we've got to a point now where people being in the country illegally, people think, oh, well, they should still be able to stay even though they're here illegally. And we've just been kicking the can down the road on this problem and not deporting people, not enforcing immigration, not doing interior enforcement, and that's created a lot of problems. And that's why people are so shocked and uncomfortable right now when the ERO and ICE and all these guys are actually doing their jobs. But this should have been done years ago. But it's so shocking to everyone because we've come to this complacent, comfortable position where it's like, oh yeah, if people are here illegally, they continue to stay.
Even if these people, you're saying they don't have legal status, any status,
simple
whatever
as that.
Status it is, you can say as simple as that. But these industries, these working American people who claim that their labor, especially agricultural workers, these industries depend on migrant labor. They depend on migrant labor, and once they even get legal migrant labor, these people are living and working under slave conditions. So even if you were to obtain an H-2A visa, you're still discriminated
That has
against
nothing to do with
for
ICE.
going through the system
That-
legally. So
that
what
has-
even is the point?
You're complaining about
so
the
what even
employers.
is the point of going it through it
You're-
legally?
look,
if
it's-
this is how you're treated.
It's
Once
the-
you're treated like a legal citizen in this country, you're literally a fucking slave. That's right? Is that a right? Should
Again,
that be right?
Again, your
Should
grievance
that
is
be
with
right?
the employers.
Should that be right? If
Your
you're
grievance,
a citizen, you should be treated
Bro,
as a fucking slave in
look,
this
look,
country.
Just calm down for a second.
So ICE
Just
is
calm
doing
down.
a lot of fucking shit wrong.
What you're complaining about right now
What I'm complaining
are the
about-
employers.
The
okay,
employers, exactly.
the
But the
employers.
employers support this. The supporters,
ICE is not the
employers support
employers.
ICE being in the country.
ICE.
A lot of these people voted for
ICE
Trump.
are actually there to take them from the employment that you're talking about. Like ICE is there to rescue them from the employment
No. ICE
and
is
send them
not
back
there
home.
to rescue them because even if you go through the proper channels, if you come into this country legally, there's no right for
look,
you
look,
as a
look.
worker.
What
and
you're
the
arguing
citizen,
for is not the
especially
topic.
if
You're
Latino.
arguing against predatorial companies. Fine,
Yeah,
I agree that could be a problem.
That is
but
a fucking
but
problem.
that's okay. But the topic isn't predatorial companies that abuse the visa system. The topic is people are here illegally and ICE does nothing wrong by deporting them. You're arguing something completely different, man.
No, I'm arguing under the same vein.
No, you're not. You're
Yes,
arguing.
I am.
You're arguing about
Because
predatory employers. Not the same.
Yeah,
not the same.
these predatory employers actually
Okay.
do support the
Do you
ICE
want to? You
and
have another
they're
topic that you want to
supportive of this.
discuss?
Yeah.
Besides that, that was it. Okay. All right. Anyone else want to come on up?
I have a question.
Sure.
So, do you think that the Likud party has done more problems to the United States and to any other country than any good that could ever come from it?
Yeah, I mean, the Likud party is the reason why we're in this crazy situation in the first place. For those that are unaware, what he's referring to is the right-wing party of Israel for their government. The Likud party is like their functional equivalent of like the Republican Party. But most of them are very far-right nationalists that basically want to remove the Palestinians altogether. And Netanyahu, you guys think that he's crazy. He's the most moderate of them. The rest of them, like, truly want to just eliminate all the Palestinians. Many of them have said, drop bomb in Gaza,
Smotrich,
get
Ben-Gvir.
them out of here,
Yep.
Ben-Gvir, Smotrich, all these weirdos. So, yeah, I mean, and that's a big reason why it's been so difficult for Trump to get this peace plan done. I think Israel bombing Qatar and all the international pressure with Canada, UK, and France recognizing Palestine, pretty much Trump, I think, told them, like, dude, we got to take a break here. You got to fucking end this war. You know, and they definitely want to attack Iran. So I think with them wanting to attack Iran, they also needed to pause the fighting in Gaza. But the Likud party has absolutely been the driving force that's been propping up Netanyahu to do all the bullshit that he's doing.
Do you think that?
That's the home base of the bullshit.
So, do you think that if the Likud party was, you can't really justify the Likud party's existence because its entire existence is based on the extermination of Palestinians. That's their entire goal. That's what what's his name? Their first prime minister, Ben Gurion.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what he wrote in his biography and everything.
Yeah, I don't know if he was a Likud guy back then. I think he was more on the left side with the Labor Party. But regardless, the Likud party is a big problem.
Yeah.
That is the home base of the reckless foreign policy that Benjamin Netanyahu has been instituting.
Thank you.
No worries, bro.
Yes, sir.
Anyone else? Agree, disagree. ICE did nothing wrong. Women are dumb. Jews control America, and that's not good. Go ahead, get on the mic so they can hear you.
What do you think young men in our generation are doing wrong, especially like in our college age group? Do you think
Okay,
there's,
what are
there's
young men
anything
doing wrong?
that we're doing that we could be doing better or we're missing out on right now because we're being distracted in a sense to social media and everything else?
Yeah, well, I think what young men need to focus on is becoming competent, right? This is something that we've kind of foregone because we live in this society where guys don't want to rise up to the occasion to become better because it's like, oh, well, I don't want to come off as toxically masculine or I don't want to be, overbearing or whatever. Like, men need to be okay with being men again, right? We need to, number one, become competent. Number two, be a strong leader. And then number three, not be scared or apologetic about being any of those things, right? We live in a world now where it's like women will tell you, oh, you're being misogynistic, you're being toxically masculine. The reality is, and what they won't tell you is that that's precisely what they want, right? The reason why this phrase, nice guys finish last, is such a thing is because it's true. Women don't know what they want, you know? They don't even know what they want to eat for lunch. So why the hell are we going to listen to them? Like, you got to be the unapologetic asshole that they need in their life because women need guidance. So that's what I would say guys are. Yeah, come on the mic. Sure. Go ahead, bro. Can you guys all hear me right? You guys hear me good?
We hear you.
All right, cool. Because we had to turn the amplification sound down, which is super fucking gay, but it is what it is.
This has nothing to do with this, but
Yeah.
would you rather date a fat girl or a black girl?
Would I rather date a fat girl or a black girl? The fat girl.
Why? Why?
Because the black girl's gonna be fat anyway.
All right.
The average black woman in America is 187 pounds, dude. She gotta be fat anyway. Goddamn. At least I can get the fat girl that don't give me an attitude. With real hair.
I got one more question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Would you rather see 2 black girls fight for a wig or 2 fat girls fight for food?
Damn. 2 black girls fight for a wig or 2 fat girls fight for food? Can I see both, bro?
Nah, you gotta pick one.
You gotta pick one? All right, 2 black girls fighting for a wig is hilarious. So I'd probably do that one.
It's tense, though.
Yeah, because it's gonna be more entertaining. The fat girls, they'll be jiggling and stuff like, so.
All right, thank you, Myron.
No worries, man. Good questions. Oh, man. What's up, man? Come on up.
How you doing?
How are you?
I'm doing good. So, I was listening to like your early talks.
Oh, yeah, talking to the mic, bro,
my fault,
so they can hear you.
I was listening to
Thank you,
your
Sean.
early talks about Jews, Zionism, Israel, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Are you strongly believe that like Zionism and Jews control the U.S. government?
Absolutely.
But why? Why? Like, I just want to know some like specific like, do you have?
Okay, so I'll kind of start from the beginning here, and I'll kind of explain this, because this is I'll try to go through it somewhat quick.
Yeah.
So when I say that Jews and Zionists control America, what I mean by this is they have a ridiculous amount of influence on almost every pivotal infrastructure point in American society, whether it's big tech, finance, the government, media, even pornography, right? Because nowadays that's like a big industry, unfortunately. They have a presence there to a significant degree, right? Television, etc. So what they've been able to do with this influence is use it to their advantage to basically prop up and protect the state of Israel. Because the state of Israel is in a precarious situation because it's surrounded by people that don't want them there, or nations that don't want them there.
Well,
so
there's been some countries, like before October 7th, some countries have worked towards peace with Israel. Like I forgot, like
yes,
Arab Emirates, like Egypt.
Yeah, so
Jordan.
Egypt did in 1978 with the Camp David Accords, if I'm not mistaken.
No, that was something else.
Was that?
I think it was something else.
No, I'm pretty sure it was the Camp David Accords with Saddam and Menachem Begin. But the point I'm trying to, and Egypt, that was back in the 70s. Egypt and Jordan, the reason why they signed those agreements is because they're right on on Israel's borders, and we give them a lot of foreign aid. So we give Israel the most foreign aid. Jordan and Egypt are right there.
Right.
So we basically pay them to play nice with the Israelis, right? But what I'm trying to say is how they control America. So they're at every single infrastructure point, like I stated, right?
Right.
Then they lobby, right, especially within the government, whether they get positions of power or they get power outside of the government and then or lobby like the Adelsons, etc. And they utilize this lobbying to preserve Israel. And they focus on getting our American foreign policy, especially in the Middle East, to benefit Israel. This is why we've had the war on terror, which was a monumental failure. This is why we went to Iraq. This is why we had all these conflicts all across the Middle East was for Israel's security.
Right, but I feel like a lot of it has like died down. Like, did you see when Netanyahu, he went up in front of I forgot where, and like everyone walked out?
Yeah,
You know,
because he was conducting a genocide.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of influence is like disappearing. So,
well, let me put it to you this way: if any other country was doing what Israel did, they would be completely admonished by the entire world.
But there are
they would be
other
sanctioned to hell. They would not be able to. They would like.
but there are other countries that are doing what Israel's doing.
Yeah, and they get
China.
sanctions and they don't get support from the United States. And no one is doing what Israel's doing. There's no one is doing.
China with the Uyghurs, Haiti.
Of course,
you could maybe argue for Ukraine.
I would say what Israel's doing is worse. And the thing is that we give them a lot of financial aid to do it.
That is true.
Right. This is why they're able to run with. This is why they're able to do the reckless foreign policy that they do, because they have unequivocal U.S. support, and it's because they control every infrastructure within the United States.
So then, what's the solution to that?
Remove them from government.
Every single Jew.
Longer any dual allegiance Zionist Jew, or Zionist for that matter. I'm not just talking about just removing Jews, but any dual allegiance Zionist needs to be removed from positions of government.
So,
and we need a foreign policy that benefits America only, not Israel. Because I don't. Israel serves no strategic benefit to the United States.
I totally agree with America first. Like I'm I myself, I'm Jewish, but I'm American, right?
Okay.
So, and I totally agree, American first. We should put our focus in our own country before other countries.
Yeah.
Like, I do not think we should be sending all this money to Israel. Yep. At the same time, I feel like everyone should have some say. I feel like we should have anti-Zionists, Zionists, like all those type of people in the government, because that's what makes a democracy. That's
I can see your perspective, but the problem is that these people put Israel first, and you cannot put, if you're going to go ahead and prioritize Israel, by definition, America's not going to be prioritized. Because the Israelis have put us in really bad diplomatic positions, which, you know, I saw you heard earlier with Qatar and everything else like that. So this is what I mean when I say they have too much influence, and we can't have them having that level of influence in the United States. And all the wars that we had in the Middle East is because of Israel. We've been wasting our time in the sandbox. We should have been focusing on China all this time.
Afghanistan, that was because of Israel?
Yeah.
Why?
The war on terror. The entire war on terror was, okay, so back in, we started in 1996. Daniel Pearl and a couple other neocon Jews, right, drafted something called the Clean Break Memo. In this Clean Break Memo, they orchestrated a strategy to take over 7 different Muslim countries in the Middle East. Pretty much every country there that was identified has been destroyed or destabilized or cucked and have some kind of deal with Israel and the United States. The last country left is Iran, which I predict we're going to go to war with them probably by the end of this year or next year because the Israelis. And then you fast forward to the year 2000 with the Project for a New America, PNAC. They also were talking about removing Saddam Hussein, etc. And they said they needed a Pearl Harbor-like event to make this change. Well, then a year later, what happens? 9/11. And when 9/11 happens, several Israeli intelligence operatives were caught celebrating and dancing when the towers were hit.
Really?
Oh, you didn't know about this?
No, I generally had no idea.
Yeah, so several Israeli intelligence so there was a movie company called Urban Movie Systems, but there was a bunch of other ones as well, White Glove Servicing, whatever. And all these different movie companies were following these hijackers in Florida and in California. So the reality is this. 9/11 was a terrorist attack conducted by the U.S. deep state, Saudi Arabia, and Israel.
You really?
Absolutely. There's declassified documents now that prove that the CIA knew that these hijackers were in America, purposely didn't tell the FBI about it, right? And facilitated the attacks to happen. And 5 Israelis were caught in New Jersey dancing and celebrating and flicking lighters as the towers were on fire. And they had foreknowledge that it was going to happen.
So you think every single major American event has happened because of Israel?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying 9/11, there's absolutely Zionist fingerprints all over it.
I could see, yeah. But so you think when
But the Saudis were involved too. My thing is I will call everybody out. So the Saudis were involved, the Israelis, and the United States with the CIA.
So do you think when, that famous picture where the CIA agent is telling, what's his name? Oh my God. The president at the time, what's his name?
There's a lot of presidents.
The guy, 9/11. What's his
George Bush?
Bush.
Okay. So I know he's young, man. He doesn't even.
No. I used to be able to name my presidents a year ago, but it's fine.
It's fine. You probably weren't alive in that era.
I
Shows my age.
I was not.
Yeah.
So you think he was telling George Bush that the attack was successful?
Well, I think it's important for people to know. During the Bush administration, Bush wasn't the one running foreign policy. It was Dick Cheney. Bush was effectively just letting Dick Cheney run everything with the Office of Special Plans and everything else.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Dick Cheney was the war hawk Dick Cheney and a lot of the neoconservatives, Robert Kagan, Douglas Feith, Paul Wolfowitz, all these guys were, John Bolton, these guys were all neocons, and the majority of them were Jewish, that pretty much worked alongside Dick Cheney to orchestrate the Iraq War, which is, I think, one of the biggest monumental failures in American foreign policy ever.
You think that's the biggest monumental failure in
foreign policy? One of the biggest, for sure.
I think the biggest failure has got to be when Jimmy Carter, that area. With the Middle East?
People rank him as a bad president, but that's what started the war on terror, was this bad foreign policy.
All right. Thank you. It was great talking.
No worries, bro. No worries. What's up, man?
Myron, I want to say thank you.
And guys, when you come up on the mic, speak loud because we're not using amplified sound because they're gay, yeah. What was that? And speak close to it and then speak loud so everybody here can hear you. And then, good. What's up, bro?
Thank you for coming to Penn State, I want to say. I've seen a lot of your videos. How come when you talk to people about Jewish situations that they get so mad and they're so biased because they're Jewish that they don't see the situation that's actually going on.
So just so I make sure I have this right, sorry. So why is it that Zionist Jews can't see the problem? Is that your question?
Yeah, it's also like I was talking with a girl who's Jewish the other day, and she's like she can't even see the other side of it. She's so one-sided.
Oh. Well, I mean, we gotta. Is she practicing or just ethnically Jewish?
Just ethnically Jewish, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta. This is gonna come off maybe offensive or whatever, but let's just be honest about it. You're talking about a group of people who call themselves the chosen people, right. So they're inherently going to be pretty solipsistic in their worldview, and that translates and bleeds over into foreign policy, right? The reality is that Israelis simply don't give a shit about Palestinian life or anyone really else. And this is why they've been kicked out of so many different societies and had problems. So, when you call yourself the chosen people, that's going to bleed into your interactions with others.
If they don't serve us in any way, why does the U.S. keep helping them?
It's a fantastic fucking question. And you know what's funny? They wouldn't be able to answer it.
No.
If you ask the government that, they would not be able to answer it. I encourage all you guys to look this up. Richard Nixon did an interview in the 80s or 90s, and the newscaster asked him, why do we support Israel? Because in his memoirs, he admitted that Israel provides us zero strategic benefit. And he said the reason why we support them is because it's a ethical and moral one. Judeo-Christian values, which is a fucking lie in itself. But we do it for more reasons, right? But translation,
is that it, though?
It's not.
Yeah.
The translation is because they have a ridiculous amount of influence in the United States and use that influence to push our foreign policy to their benefit, to our detriment. That's the real reason. But they lie and say it's because of Christian Judeo values or we have a moral obligation to them.
You talked about the 9/11 situation. What did anyone in the U.S. do about those guys celebrating it when it happened?
So this is the beauty of independent media. So I'm 35. I'm old. But I remember, when I was 11 years old and 9/11 happened, you couldn't find this information in the mainstream media because it got shut down quick. So the mainstream media did report on it, but then they quickly got that stuff off the air. And this was a topic that's been banned for very long. But thanks to the resurgence of social media and independent media, we're able to, find out what really happened on that day. And we're figuring out about these intelligence operatives, these Israeli intelligence operatives. And this is all declassified FBI documents. This isn't a conspiracy theory anymore. It's absolutely verified fact that Israeli operatives were caught celebrating and had foreknowledge of the attacks on 9/11. It's absolute fact.
Do you think mainstream media took it away so fast because the mainstream media is controlled by Israelis?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All of the main networks are controlled by Zionist Jews. Or the Murdochs, the Murdochs are hardcore Zionists, even though they might not necessarily be Jewish.
So what about the people in the government who are fully American? What do you think they think about the people who are Israeli in the government, like influencing it? Do you think they have a say?
They don't care because they're getting paid.
Yeah.
They're being lobbied and they just shut up about this topic and don't. And because if you do talk about this, you look at someone like a Thomas Massey, right? They've been trying to get him out for a long time. Cori Bush was anti-Israel, and she said, hey, we need to figure out something with this genocide. The AIPAC spent millions of dollars to make sure she got out. In St. Louis, a region that doesn't even matter to them, but that's how much influence they have, where it's like, oh, you're not pro-Israel? Cool. We're going to fund your opposition and make sure that we crush you. And that's what they do.
That's why we need people like you to bring it to the world.
Hey, man, I'm considered a far-right extremist, so I don't know. But, maybe one day I'll become Führer.
What do you think they can do in the future? Like, if it just keeps going like this, how are we supposed to end it?
The good thing is, right, I'm here on a college campus talking to you guys right now about this problem. You guys are the future. So the more young people that wake up to this problem, the higher the likelihood one of you guys here, someone that's watching, etc., is gonna grow up, get a position of power, get into politics, and know the truth, and then hopefully our government will start to represent that. Okay. Obviously, it's going to take a couple of election cycles for our youth to get in, but the youth overwhelmingly is awakened to this topic, which my generation we weren't because we didn't have alternative media to learn this stuff.
Yeah. This is not ICE related, but I'm a freshman. How would you recommend? Obviously, I want to get rich right now. That's the focus. But I'm also studying, and it's a school where you go to get good education.
Yeah.
How would you recommend I balance the amount of study I do to like the work that I do to try and make money? Because I've noticed when I try and put my effort into really grinding on making money,
yeah,
I miss assignments and stuff.
Yeah, it's a balance, and I'll be honest with you, bro, because I remember that because I was a D1 athlete, and I remember like working a job and being an athlete and everything else like that. I think the thing for young men, all you guys here, is to get used to suffering in your 20s, right? You're gonna have to avoid partying, doing drugs, having fun, whatever. Because let's be honest here, college is an acceptable way to spend 4 years being a degenerate.
Yeah.
I was D1 athlete, I get it.
It's a vacation, literally.
It's a vacation,
Yeah.
right? But I think with young men, they really need to focus on building their value in their 20s so that they can have an easy decade in their 30s. Because if you don't work hard in your 20s, you're going to suffer in your 30s. You're going to have to make up for it. So, and as you get older and older, it's going to be harder and harder to work hard. So it's going to suck. You're going to have to probably put in some hours and give up a lot of your social time, but it's absolutely worth it.
Okay, thank you. Also,
worries,
what's it like being with? This is what's it like being with Tate and those types of guys who are just like.
Yeah, no, Tate is great, man. I mean, iron sharpens iron. You want to be around guys that are successful. If you're around 3 successful guys, you'll be the 4th. It's inevitable at some point. So surround yourself with guys that got their stuff together. Don't, do drugs. Don't drink all the time. I know this sounds really cheesy or whatever, but it does add up over time. It really does.
Thank you.
No problem, man. Absolutely. No problem. Yeah. Everyone thinks I'm short, but yeah. All right. Okay. Well, what's up? Hi. What's your name?
Maggie.
What's that?
Maggie.
Maggie. What's up?
What is your thoughts about Trump?
What is my thoughts about what?
Yeah, Trump.
Trump? Yeah. I like Trump for the most part. There's things he does that I like, and there's things he does that I don't like. I'm definitely not one of these guys that's going to sit here and be what I call a MAGA retard, where you're unable to criticize mistakes. When it comes to foreign policy, I think he's doing a damn good job.
Yeah.
He's ended several conflicts.
Yes.
When it comes to the economy, the whole tariff situation, he's using it more as a bargaining chip versus actually revitalizing the economy. I don't like the Israel situation. I wish he had a better grasp on controlling Netanyahu. But, that's kind of the part for the course in American politics. But I do like what he's doing with immigration. He's the first president that's actually had the nuts to enforce immigration, not just at the border, but actually doing it interior. Yeah. And that's why everyone is, losing their minds right now because we've never had a surge like this where we got immigration enforcement agents going in and picking people up in the United States.
Right. I mean, I'm from Egypt. I'm a U.S. citizen, and I feel like people are just overreacting about how immigration should be, like the immigrants should be here, but it should be like they need to go back to their country because we don't know who's coming in our country, and that's what I like about what he's doing. But the Israel thing is not. It's just not a good thing.
Yeah,
so,
it's not.
Yeah.
It's not, and it sucks because every president since John F. Kennedy has been a cuck for Israel, right? Yeah. And there's a reason why JFK got killed, but that's a whole other conversation. But yeah, no, I agree for sure that
All right.
If you're here illegally, you're here illegally. I mean, I'm a first generation, American myself.
That's right.
I'm from Sudan. You said you're from Egypt, so we're neighbors.
All right.
You got to follow the law.
Right. Thank you.
So no worries.
Yep.
Shukran. What's up, man?
What's up, man?
You guys can hear me good? We good? We having a good time out here or what? All right. Awesome. If there's any liberals that walk by, tell them to stop by and, have a discussion. They're all running, bro. They're all terrified. What's up, man? Yeah, they're like I told you, I said it earlier, like libs never want to debate, dude. They just want to yell from the side. Shout out to where's Bandana Man? Did he leave? I'll give him credit. He at least tried.
What's up,
man?
I just have a question. Is there any candidate in the future that you would think about voting for, or do you think that both parties are too influenced by say another country?
Yeah, right now both parties are cucked to Israel. Yeah. So we're gonna need to. It's probably gonna take a couple election cycles to get more young blood in there because the problem is that a lot of these established politicians, the norm has always been AIPAC money, support Israel. It's been a bipartisan, always support Israel. But now people are starting to slowly wake up. So I predict hopefully in the future we're able to, deal with this problem. But yeah, if Thomas Massie ran for president, I'd absolutely vote for him.
All right, thank you.
No problem, man.
What's up, bro? How you doing?
What's up, man?
My name is Yusuf. I'm actually Egyptian too.
Okay.
I agree with you on most things, the Israel situation and everything, but
what do you disagree with?
What do I disagree with?
Yeah.
Well, you talked a few weeks ago about, or maybe last week, about Islam and the detriments of it on the West. My question for you is if you agree that liberal Israelis or liberal Jews, they support the open border policy, and they're the reason that, people who come from, war-torn countries and commit crimes here, they're the reason that they're here.
So is your question on my views on Islam, or what was the specific question?
Well, I have a few questions, but the first one was, about the whole Islam thing with the Jews.
Yeah, so let me just give you my position, because I think a lot of people mischaracterize my position on Islam. My position is, I think the United States is a Christian country. I think Muslims are guests here. And as guests here, I don't think it's appropriate to pray pray public areas of significant, maybe a tourist attraction,
like a Times Square.
Like a Times Square or any of these other places, or have the Adhan being played, 5 times a day in U.S. cities. I don't think that's appropriate.
But
to be done.
Say you think the U.S. is a Christian country?
Yes.
Okay, I disagree. I don't think the U.S. was found on Christianity. I think it was found on the separation of state and religion.
Yeah, separation of church and state. But
right.
But the separation of church and state was to ensure the protection of the church and the government from influence of either or.
Right.
So the framers put that in for that perspective. It's it's the separation of church and state, not the separation of mosque and state. But I do think that this country was founded by white Protestants, etc.
Right.
But I do think that this is a Christian country, and we're here as guests. I mean, let's be honest, we're the minority. We're 2% of the population, right? So by definition, we're the minority, they're the majority, which makes sense because they founded the country.
Right.
So I think as guests, just because we could doesn't mean we should.
I don't completely disagree that we're guests. It's just for me, one of the things
And let me be clear, I don't have a problem with them praying in public.
Right.
My problem is that when you pray in public and inconvenience others, or if you have that being played multiple times a day and inconveniencing others, I just don't think that's fair.
Okay. Do you agree that the reason they're here are the Jews, though, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. That's not all of them, but a lot of them, come from war-torn countries, which was due to our foreign policy, and our foreign policy has destabilized these Middle Eastern and Muslim countries. So yeah, it's created chaos where they need to seek refugee, whether it's here in the United States, Western Europe, etc.
Okay. And then I have just one more question. What do you think about Peter Thiel and Palantir?
Terrible.
Okay. All right.
Terrible. He's literally a cocksucker. What's up, man?
Well, first off, I want to thank you for being here. I think it's really important, that.
And speak up so everybody can hear you.
Oh, yep. So I think we owe him a round of applause, guys. Come on.
I appreciate that, guys. Thank you.
Sir.
Thank you, man.
Honestly, I'm a freshman here. I'm from Puerto Rico. I'm here legally.
Nice. A hardworking Puerto Rican.
Yes,
that's hard to find.
Yes, sir. So my question is, what's your piece of advice for me to really form my future and also make an impact in the world? Because I think it's not enough to be successful. I think you need to have an impact, right?
Yeah.
For sure.
And you can have an impact in your own way, right? Like
sure.
whether it's you're like me here talking on a mic to young guys, talking about the uncomfortable truths, or you're an electrician or a plumber and you're contributing that way, or firefighter, or cop, whatever it may be. My biggest thing is get a skill, be of value, be as competent as you can be, and be that guy that a woman is going to want to defer to your authority. Yeah. I think if guys kind of go, focus on themselves and grow that way versus like chasing after ass, they're going to be way better off. Because the reality is the things it takes to become successful are counterproductive to attracting women, because women are a big waste of time when you don't have money. But if you got your shit together, then you will spend less time.
For sure. No, but thank you. Can I shake your hand?
Yeah, of course,
Yes,
bro.
sir.
No worries, man. Yeah, no worries, man. Thank you for coming. All right. What's up, man?
All right. So, do you?
And guys, anyone that has a disagreement, please come on the mic and make a line, man. There's no, there's no dumb question or dumb topic. So, yeah. What's up?
Right. So, do you think that the Epstein files should be released, and are they real in your opinion?
Should be released?
Yeah.
Absolutely real.
All right.
The reason why they're not being released is because there's more than likely compromising information there of Trump and probably Israeli government officials as well.
And do you think Trump should be impeached if it's released and he is in those files, like you said?
If he's doing inappropriate things or breaking the law, then yeah.
All right, that's all I want to say. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm Jack. Nice
Yo.
to meet you. I just wanted to, I've watched a lot of your videos, and I just want to know like your view on like abortion.
My views on abortion
as a subject. I know I've heard a lot of your videos regarding women, and how you feel about women. So I'm just kind of curious as to what your views are on abortion.
So, I have this is probably my only position that wouldn't be like as far right. I think a certain period of time. I think in Florida it's like 4 to 5 weeks or whatever, right? I think that might be the appropriate route because at that point you might not know, is it worth it to bring a child in when you don't have a stable family or you don't have a guy that's going to support you? That kid's going to end up becoming fucked up because we know single motherhood contributes to a lot of problems. But yeah, on this topic, that's kind of where I stand. I'm obviously always open to hearing other things. This isn't like a topic that I'm like, concern myself with too much. I know a lot of people that are more religious are more pro-life, and I respect that. But that's kind of my take on it right now at the moment.
Do you feel the same way about the death penalty in regards to just life or death?
So when it comes to, honestly, this might be extreme. I don't think we should even give them the death penalty. I think we should torture them. If I'm going to be honest, like if you're someone who hurts kids, you rape women, you do senseless violence, you do mass murdering or serial killer or whatever, like that scumbag that stabbed that woman on the train.
Yeah.
I don't think death penalty is enough. I think these guys need to be publicly tortured. And the reason why is because we need to send a clear message that we're not going to tolerate this bullshit. And I think it should be like, if I became fear, I'd call the WBNN, the Waterboard Niggas Network, and we would just live stream that shit all day.
Yeah.
And I think that would deter crime because a lot of criminals might think twice when they're going to be embarrassed live as they're crying, getting tortured for the crimes that they do. It'll make them think twice.
Yeah, awesome. All right.
Yeah.
Well, nice
No
meeting
worries,
you.
man. What's up, man?
How's it going, Myron? Thanks for being here.
Hey, thanks for having me.
So my question is, how did we get to this point in our country where half of the population can't tell the difference between a man and a woman, and they think it's okay to mutilate children's body parts, and they come up with hundreds of different pronouns? I was just wondering how we got here, and can we correct that line of thinking? Do you even think that's possible at all?
We got here through liberalism, right? We got here through liberalism. We got here through feminism, right? And this is a perfect example of what I mean, where feminism is the spearhead to almost every societal problem that we have. So first it was free love in the 1960s, right? Well, first it was birth control, no fault divorce. That leads to the creation and push of feminism. After feminism, then was the gay rights and gay marriage. After the gay rights and the gay marriage, now the alphabet community comes in out of nowhere, right? We went from letting two dudes get married, right, to now we're going all the way far left where there's 99 genders now. And it's just going to continue to get worse and worse. And we kind of, dealt with this slippery slope. And I'll admit, my generation is what failed you guys in this regard because we voted for guys like Obama. We thought back then, hey, it's not a big deal, just let them get married like the rest of us. But what ended up happening is we opened up that Overton window, and when you give them an inch, they take a mile, and that's kind of what's going on right now. Right. So I do think that my generation bears some responsibility for that, but it's because most of us voted for Obama back in 2008 because we didn't have alternative media, and we were so pissed off with the Iraq war, and we're just so tired of that bullshit, so we wanted something different. And Obama was a great, charismatic speaker, and a lot of people bought it hook, line, and sinker. I remember I was 18 when he ran, and I voted. So, but this has created a lot of problems because it came from the Obama era. But yeah, it started with feminism, and that's how we've gotten to this point now.
So how do you think we can correct that line of thinking?
I think we're slowly correcting it now. I see a lot of young guys are starting to lean more conservative because the Democrat Party has done a horrible job of being cool and marketable to young men. And I see a lot of young guys becoming more conservative versus in my generation, a lot of guys were more progressive.
Because I know, when I was a kid, there wasn't really all this gender stuff. And then slowly when I got to high school and college, it kind of all slapped you right in the face. And I feel like a lot of people my age, they don't know that stuff's just so crazy. It's just normal to them.
Yeah. This wasn't this 99 gender bullshit is a new thing. Right. And as someone who's watched the paradigm change from, I was born in 90 to now, it's crazy. I remember being in college and gay marriage becoming a thing, and it was being controversial back then. But I did not foresee that it would get like this. Right? So, yeah, that's kind of where we are.
All right. Thank you, Myron.
No worries, man.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries, brother. What's up, man?
Hello. I just had a quick question for you. So
Yeah.
I guess after Charlie Kirk died, a lot of people that were on the left, they were either criticizing him or celebrating his death.
Yep.
And people like Asmongold, who, as far as I know, you're generally positive towards him.
Yeah.
They were, supporting these people getting deplatformed and censoring them. But you're with Uncensored America. And I was just wondering, and to be clear, the people that are celebrating his death, I think fully should, have punishment come towards them. But I was wondering, people that are just criticizing Charlie Kirk, I feel like it's our right to, say we disagree with someone, even after they die. If it's insensitive, it doesn't really matter. I just wanted to hear what your opinion on that was.
Yeah, I mean, me and Charlie didn't agree on everything, too. I think the big thing that we disagreed on was Israel, right? And we had a discussion about that before. But obviously when he was killed, I kind of just, I think now it's more about kind of uniting versus like still bringing up political grievances from before just out of respect is my opinion. I do understand that some people are going to still be critical after his passing, especially maybe his political opposition. But I don't know. Is it worth it? Like, I mean, he's no longer here to defend his beliefs, right? So I think criticizing him at this point now is kind of, a waste of time. But I do understand that people, especially on the left, are going to do that. But yeah, celebrating anyone's death, whether left or right, is a big problem. Like, if someone, on the left was like a big political commentator on the left was killed in that manner, I would say we need to find the individuals responsible and put them in the WBNN, the Waterboarding Network, right? But that's kind of where we are now, unfortunately. And I would argue that the left tends to be more violent when it comes to politics than conservatives are, right? And I know a lot of liberals might say that's not true or whatever, but I think it's absolutely true because they've never had to deal with, real consequences or censorship for their worldviews. It's always been conservatives that have been censored, not the left.
Yeah, I would say that. Sorry, just give me a second. I think the problem, though, is that a lot of people on the right, a lot of people on the right, they have been dealing with this censorship, and I don't think that we should be stooping to the same level as the people that used to do it on the left censoring us.
No, I agree with you. Like them canceling Jimmy Kimmel, for example, I thought that was retarded. Like,
yeah,
he made a joke. Yes, it was bad. It was bad faith. Yes, it was very poor taste. But I don't think he should have been canceled for it. But like these individuals that are like celebrating on TikTok that are paramedics, nurses, doctors, whatever, like after someone's been killed, I think that's highly inappropriate.
Yeah, like I said, I think
because they're in
think
positions of trust. You know what I mean? Like if you're in a position of trust where literally people's lives are in your hands, you should not be celebrating the death of anyone.
Right.
Because you took an oath to protect all life, no matter what.
Yeah, but I think just to wrap up here.
Yeah.
I would say that just criticizing somebody, even if it's insensitive, I wouldn't say that we should cancel those people. I wouldn't say that we should. I mean, we can be negative towards them, but that's their right to say it. It's my right to criticize too, right?
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, if you're attacking people's ideas, I have no problem with that.
All right, thank you.
No worries, man. Thank you. All right, so yeah, guys. So the topics are: ICE did nothing wrong. Men are superior to women. Jews have too much power. What else?
I have a question.
Oh yeah, the alphabet community are mentally ill. Whatever you want. What's up, man?
So why do you think that we don't acknowledge Israel's nuclear weapons program?
Because that would create a lot of problems for them if they hadn't acknowledged nuclear program.
Do you find it ironic that we're bombing Iran for the exact same reason?
It's fucking nuts, man.
Yeah.
I've said that before. It's like it's crazy to me how Israel has an illegal nuclear weapons program where they stole a lot of the technology and uranium from us. Yeah, out of Apollo. Yep. But they're complaining about Iran having a nuclear bomb. It's hypocrisy at the highest level. It's ridiculous. Yep. So it just but that goes to show how strong the tentacles are of the Israeli influence in America.
So even if you say tentacles, they can call you an anti-Semite just
Absolutely.
for saying that.
I mean, they're deporting college kids here and all the other place for being critical of Israel. It's nuts.
Crazy.
Right? So,
Thank you.
No, thank you. All right, any progressives, any liberals want to get on the mic? If you think I'm a bigot or whatever it may be, feel free to tell me why. Okay? Let's try to get a disagreement out here, if possible. And again, I'll give you guys the positions. Well, we're on YouTube, so we can save that one for later. Okay. What's up, man? What's up? What's your name?
I'm Hatan.
What is it?
Hatan.
Matan?
Something like that, yeah.
Okay.
A little loud, yeah.
Yeah, just be loud so the people here can hear you.
Yeah. So I've seen, like, your content online.
Yeah.
And so, like, my question to you is, like, what exactly is, like,
I've seen most of your podcasts with like women and everything, and my question is to you, like, what is like your goal? Like, what is the message that you're trying to send to men, young men?
What is my message and my goal?
To
So the
young
question
men.
is, what is my message and my goal with the podcast?
To young men specifically.
To young men?
Yeah.
To get women back in the kitchen.
Get women back in the kitchen.
Yeah, to get women back in the kitchen. Yeah, to have guys have the balls to finally stand up to women and say, you need to go back to the fucking kitchen.
All right. Do you think that's like productive as a whole? Like, do you
To
think
tell women to go back to the kitchen?
Do you think telling young men to tell young women to go back to the kitchen will work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, and I'll explain why. A guy that could tell a woman go back to the kitchen is a guy that's in his masculine frame. A guy that's in his masculine frame understands that he has duties and responsibilities to a family and to his woman. So by him telling her to go back to the kitchen, what he's doing is he's leveraging her greatest strength, which is making sandwiches, not making careers. So that's why I think men need to get the balls to tell women to go back to the kitchen.
What makes you think that women aren't capable of leading the same careers though as men?
What makes me think that women are capable of?
Aren't capable of leading the same careers as men?
Because they're inferior to us in almost every metric that matters. They're weaker, they're smaller, they're shorter, they're more susceptible to, they're more vulnerable. They're just not equal to us in any way. Now, again, I want to be clear about this. This doesn't mean from an inherent human value. I would argue from a human value, actually, they hold more value because they incubate the next generation. But when it comes to practicality and performance, men are superior in every regard.
So then my question to you is, in the modern day, with like, you mentioned these like physical differences between men and women, biological difference between men and women. In the modern day, how much of this, like, women are shorter or weaker to men biologically, how much of that like materially matters in the workplace?
How much does a woman's biology and her physical inferiority matter in society?
Well, you mentioned women being like biologically weaker than men.
Yeah.
Right? But how much does that matter on a scale of like, if most jobs nowadays aren't hard labor, if most jobs are in the office, if most jobs are leading whatever it may be, corporate type jobs?
Yeah, no, I see your position, but that's what I mean when I say we've civilized the world so much and modernized it so much that like we forget like how inferior women really are, if we're going to be honest, right? This is how much we've modernized society. Like, we've made it where it's like, oh, you're a woman, you want to join the military? Cool, like, just go ahead and come on in. Oh, you want to be a cop? Oh, yeah, sure, just come on in, because of equality, inclusivity. I think it's all good to be equal and egalitarian until you get hit with reality again, right? And I want it where I think we need to, and this is why I agree with what Pete Heckler did, where he, brought back military standards, said, yo, women shouldn't be serving in certain positions. We need to stay lethal and stay powerful. We don't want to be in a position where it's like, oh, we get punched in the face, then we realize, oh, we weren't prepared. I think it's best to be prepared from the beginning. So, inclusivity at the cost of productivity is a big problem.
But what is like the material productivity cost? Is there something that can be
What is the
measured?
what?
Like, what is the true productivity cost of
You gotta
having?
speak up, man, 'cause it's really,
is it?
people are talking in the back
Okay,
and stuff
sorry.
like that, and-
Well,
go ahead.
Like, is there a measurable productivity loss in having women in the workplace?
Well, here's the thing. I think that the productivity measurement that we should be focusing on is, are we having kids? Are we having nuclear families? And what feminism has effectively done is it's come in and it's destroyed the nuclear family, because women are more concerned with chasing a career versus chasing a family. And I think that's where a lot of problems happen.
I don't know. Like, I don't think that's entirely true. I think there's
You don't think feminism contributed to the destruction of the nuclear family?
to the destruction of the I think the loss of the nuclear family as a family structure could be like, is derived from a lot more than just modern feminism. That could be.
Of course, there's going to be multiple factors, but I would argue feminism has been one of the key ingredients to the destruction of the family unit.
And then who's to say that women are, they have to be confined to the structure of a nuclear family? Like, who says exactly that is the right path for women? And that we have
having a family?
I mean, not, but like, why can't they have a family later in their careers when they choose to?
Because by then they're too old and used up, unfortunately.
I don't
Right?
think
Like
that's-
by the time a woman
I
hits
don't know
like in her
if that's
30s,
biologically even true.
most of her eggs are gone. So it's going to be significantly harder for her to actually have children into her 30s. So like, she should be trying to mate and have children when she's younger.
I mean, there's still plenty of women now who are having children in their 30s and
Sure,
whatnot.
but
And
this is why we got more
especially with modern-
retards.
and with
Like
modern,
this is why we got autism and all these other mental problems, is because women are having kids later, kids come out retarded. You know what I mean? It's like, it's ridiculous. So I think if we want to have, you know, an optimal, healthy society, women should be having children when they're at their optimal health. So in their 20s. Now, just because women can have kids at 30 doesn't mean that we should allow that to happen, because a lot of them have failed pregnancies as well.
Would you not say that completely excluding that part of the population from the workplace would actually be less productive as a whole for society?
Say that again?
Would you not argue that excluding women as a whole from the workplace would not really just be less productive for society as a whole?
Well, we would have to do it in segments, right? You can't just say, all right, all you guys back to the kitchen right now. We'd have to do it in waves. You know, like when you're getting on a plane and they say, all right, you know, party 1 can get on now. Party 2, you guys can get on. We got to do it like in waves. All right, hot girls, you go back to the kitchen. Wait a little bit. All right, you mids, now you guys can go back to the kitchen. Then, you know, wait a little bit more. All right, you fat hoes can go back to the kitchen, but you can't eat nothing. You know what I mean? Like, we just got to go it and we got to do it in like waves.
I mean, yeah, I disagree. I think, especially
with doing it in waves?
Well, that and the entire concept, but because
But you do agree that the fat women got to go last.
I didn't say that. But okay. I think especially with like modern reproductive methods like IVF and all these like different like ways that science has brought about having children, women don't have to be forced into having children early on at the cost of their careers.
Well, again, they could go ahead and sacrifice a family, but I think the problem here is that we don't educate women enough to tell them, like, look, if you want to pursue if you want to pursue a career, fine, but understand that as you rise up the ranks and make more money and increase your status, your ability to formulate a family is going to be significantly harder, because as women acquire resources, their standards go up. As their standards go up, fewer and fewer men can meet that standard.
Is it really? Do you like? Okay. Do you really think that women have too high of standards, though? Like, do you really?
Do I think that women have what?
Too high of standards? Do you sincerely
Absolutely.
believe that?
Women's standards are way too high. Way too high.
Can you explain?
We got girls that are mids, wanting like a dude 6 foot plus, making $100,000 plus a year. Like, and I would blame social media on that, and them being educated and having access to more resources.
I mean, I think there's definitely some, like, you know, social media has contributed, but I think that also applies to men in the same vein. I think a lot of men have also distorted reality on what they expect.
I would argue, so I see your perspective. If I took 100 men and I took 100 women and I asked the men to rank themselves of where they think they stand in the sexual marketplace, like what they would rate themselves, versus if I took 100 women and asked them where they rate themselves, the men would probably be closer to where they actually stand. So in other words, the guys would probably be more humble and rate themselves as 5, 6, 7, right, more average, versus a majority of the women are going to say I'm a 10. So there's a very stark contrast between how the genders see themselves in their value. Women tend to overestimate their sexual market value, versus men tend to undervalue theirs.
So I understand what you're saying, but my question to you then is, do you not think that's a result of the patriarchy in some way? And that, so I'm a short man, and a lot.
Yeah, you're cooked. It's gonna be hard for you to get a chick.
Well, I have a girlfriend. I have a long-term girlfriend, and it's.
How long y'all been together?
About a year and a half now, and
you guys met in college?
No, in high school.
So as you guys age, if your status doesn't go up and you don't make more money, and she either comes close to you or surpasses you, your chances of staying in said relationship are going to drop off precipitously. Okay, and that's a hardcore reality, because women are resource extractors. Women are, hypergamous.
Well, but what I'm trying to say is that a lot of the things that I've gotten as a short man or as whatever have been primarily from men. And I think a lot of, you rated, men talking about rating them lower on the social ladder. Like, if you asked a man where he places on the social ladder, he'd rank himself lower. Do you not think a lot of that is because it's standards imposed by men on men as well?
Yeah, and that's a good thing, because we tend to operate in reality because of these standards. Women don't have that they don't have those standards. Like I was discussing this before, women don't understand the concept of hierarchy. And the reason why they don't understand the concept of hierarchy is because it's not required for them to mate. Right? So I'll start from the beginning. Everyone is put on earth to mate, right, and have children. For men, for us to have children and mate, we must rise up the ranks in the hierarchy to have sexual access to women. For women to mate, they don't have to rise up the hierarchy to have sexual access. So since they don't need to understand hierarchy to get sexual access, they just exist. And they're not aware of this stuff. But I'll explain it even better in your situation. If your woman stayed the way that she is right now, you're never leaving her. But if you stay the way that you are right now, she's going to leave you. See the difference?
Can I say something to you?
Because she's going to expect you to grow. right, and earn more money, increase your status, and be at least close to, or if not a breadwinner.
Well, that's something I expect of myself as well, is to grow in my career. That's something I expect of myself
of
as
course,
well, to grow in my
but understand that she doesn't have to change, but you do, and that's precisely my point. Because men are fundamentally held to a hierarchy standard, whether they want to accept it or not.
Okay, I understand what you're saying in that vein specifically, but I mean, when I started dating her, I was jobless, I didn't have any money, and there was really no issue with that, and I picked up a job out of my own volition, and even to this day, it's never really been a point of contention, because I lost a job, and nothing changed. It was like, I don't know, I think like I'm not going to argue with you. I think there are shallow people in the world. I think there are shallow people, but I think shallow people can take the form in both men and women. I think there are tons of shallow men as well.
I would argue there's more shallow women than shallow men.
But why is that? Why do you like?
Because the things that women look for are tangible things that are there for their survival. Women, and they have to be this way, by the way. I'm not shitting on them for being this way, but they have to be shallow because women are the more vulnerable sex, and women are designed to extract resources from men, not the other way around. So this is why women inherently are more solipsistic, more narcissistic, and are more selective in the process, because they're the more vulnerable sex.
Do you have any is that backed by anything? Like,
I mean, it's backed. It's just biology. Like, if you poll 100 women, they're gonna tell you, I want a guy that's 6 foot tall. I want a guy that makes $100,000 per year. I want a guy that goes to the gym. I want a guy that has XYZ. Now, every woman is gonna have different variations of this, right? Different standards within these metrics, but the bottom line is always the same. They want a man better than them.
So then, but I think, how can you apply these old, biological takes from, very much more primal times in human history? I don't think they exactly, fit in and slot in perfectly to the 21st century. I don't think they exactly.
Yeah, and this is why I say modernity does not change the hindbrain, right? Like, it allows us to maybe, right, with technology and all the, human achievements we have, it allows us to kind of not operate in reality when we, don't have to, but the ugly reality is that we're always going to, regress back to our instincts. And you can find this in what women find attractive. Like, the things that the attraction triggers are primal. They're built into you, right? Men, what do we look for? Young girl, hot, big tits, nice ass, good shape, etc. This is what men typically look for. What do women look for? Tall, strong, competent, healthy genes, right? So we're looking for replication value of, like, we want to have good-looking kids with a good-looking woman. Women look on survival value. Can this guy protect me? And this is just how it's baked in.
So then my question to you is then, how do you explain the epidemic of chopped men with tons of girlfriends that are hotter than them?
Because they have status. They're doing something right. Whenever I see a man with a girl that's out of his league, I know for a fact he either has money, status, he has game. He's doing something right if he's dating a girl out of his league.
But is that not, that makes sense, right? Like, I think if a man has game, if he has a personality.
But the point is that he's got to work for that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Like, men have to work to get women. Women don't have to work to get men. Women have to work to keep men. Big difference.
I think maybe very highly attractive women, but I don't know if that same standard applies to just average looking women or below average women even.
Average looking women have access to celebrities. This is why they're insufferable. Average looking women are delusional and have high standards because they have access to higher status men. Because men don't care about hierarchy. A regular girl from this school, can DM a celebrity and probably get a response. Versus if an average guy here, DM'd a celebrity female, DM Rihanna, she ain't looking. She don't give a fuck. Right? Like,
do you think Rihanna's a fair comparison?
I'm using the example of, if a regular guy messages a female celebrity, he's invisible. But if a regular girl messages a celebrity, he's gonna more than likely respond.
Part of that is just male desperation.
Male desperation?
Do you not think that's a part of it? It's just men being easy.
Well, that speaks to the inherent biology we discussed earlier. Women fuck who they want, men fuck who they can, even if they have the status to fuck who they want.
All right, well, that's my time. I have to go to class, so.
No worries, man.
All right, appreciate talking to you.
No worries, bro. All right, anyone else, whether you think feminism, ICE did nothing wrong, women are dumb, Jews control America, fat people are disgusting, we need to put them in a fat camp, concentration camps, where they can concentrate on diet and exercise. So, any of that stuff. Don't be scared. Don't be scared, guys. I mean, you have a discussion, even if you disagree. Or if you want me to clarify one of my positions, you know?
All right.
You want to talk about, because we're on YouTube, so I don't know if we can talk about the Cookie Monster event. That's what you want to discuss?
Oh, can we not? We can't talk about it?
Yeah, maybe
or?
towards the end.
All right.
Yeah, because we're on YouTube. You know how that goes. You know, Mustache Man and Cookie Monster event, that becomes a problem on YouTube for obvious reasons. What's up? Got somebody?
So, tell me why you think ICE is doing nothing wrong right now.
The reason why I think ICE is doing nothing wrong right now, you know, obviously it's a little bit of hyperbole, but for the most part, I think they're doing good because interior immigration enforcement is something that we've been, you know, procrastinating on for decades. You know, I have not seen any administration go this hard on focusing on deportation from the interior of the United States.
Wouldn't you say that they're going too far, though, at all?
In some cases, obviously, yes, right? You know, there's going to be some people that get apprehended that might have status, right, that get rounded up in these raids. But I do think that that's going to be a byproduct of getting this done effectively and deporting as many people as possible, right? Some of these people are illegally harboring these aliens who might be U.S. citizens or have status, so there are going to be criminal investigations there. Some people might not be able to be determined to be USCs or have status right then and there at the scene. They got to bring them back to the office, fingerprint them, see where they stand. So there's always going to be inherent problems, but I think for the most part, we're doing a good job when it comes to immigration enforcement within the interior, which is the key distinction. Something we've never, at least no recent administration has done.
Isn't that kind of ironic, though, because your sign says ICE did nothing wrong, but you're admitting that ICE did some things wrong?
It's a little bit of hyperbole, you know what I'm saying?
Okay,
but like, but for the most part, I think what's going on is good.
Okay.
Nothing is ever perfect, right?
But wouldn't you say that people who are going to these immigration courts, fighting for their legal status, but then getting arrested as soon as they step outside wrong?
Yeah, you're probably referring to what they're doing in New York City. The reason why is because New York City has been a sanctuary city for a very long time. And these people have been able to operate with impunity. What What ICE is doing is when they're coming out these immigration courts and they don't have status, they're picking them up.
Okay.
So.
All right. That's all to say.
No worries. All right. Anyone else want to come up? Many different topics. We could discuss Israel, ICE, black crime, women being dumb.
Why do you hate women? Why are you a so-called quote-unquote misogynist?
Hey,
why do you think women shouldn't have rights?
I think, well, look, obviously I think they should have human rights. I just don't think they should have the right to vote and some other stuff. But my thing is I just accept the reality that men and women are different. I think we've been kind of, pretending to be blind to this topic and say, oh, yeah, we're all equal. Men and women are the same. And it's like, it's just not. And, we have all the biological evidence to show it. And I think I would argue that egalitarianism and feminism and all this equality bullshit, it's actually hurt women more than it's helped them, despite the fact that they think that it's helped them.
100%.
Yeah.
I believe that if arranged marriages and if we go to like how we are in the East, you know what I'm saying, like Middle East and stuff.
Well,
like,
arranged marriages had, fixed a lot of problems.
They did, because you get married to a man and you're not putting all these other men who are in your catalog up for comparison. So
because the parents were vetting.
Exactly.
So the parents were vetting to make sure the guy would be a good provider, and then the other family was vetting to make sure that she's not a 304. Exactly. So both parties come to the table with something of tangible value, which is the premise of a relationship. But now it's gotten to a point where it's like women don't have to bring anything to the table. Men have to bring a little bit to the table, and neither party's happy because they're not getting what they should be getting from the other party.
And I think that the problem more or less arises because women delude each other. Like the deluded will lead the deluded. They're going to keep lying to themselves and saying, oh, we want to be equal, when they don't understand that equality comes with
responsibility,
lowering standards, lowering military requirements, or countries effectively worse military, like China could steamroll us with the amount of DEI. I mean, you saw Heckler's thing with the generals.
Yeah.
There was a bunch of people posting on like Instagram and TikTok that they were like not going to listen to the Secretary of State.
Secretary of War, Secretary of Defense, same thing. Yeah.
Insane.
No, it's absolutely nuts. Cool. What else? Guys, we're talking about a bunch of different stuff.
I know it's my third time up, but I think ICE actually did everything wrong.
Okay. Why do you say that?
Well, at the beginning of Trump's term, he promised mass deportations. I don't think we're getting that at all. I think what ICE is doing, they're, working on removing college students who speak up against Israel and, other people who might be citizens or might be green card holders, rather than removing actual legal immigrants who came here with, no due
so I
process
agree
or-
that focusing on college students that are critical of Israel is a gross waste of resources because technically these students are here illegally, and them criticizing a foreign nation shouldn't be the reason why they lose their visa. But that's just one component of the immigration, reform. But I would say outside of that, for the most part, the interior enforcement that he's doing compared to other presidents and other administrations is, remarkable.
Do you think in terms of numbers, ICE is doing a good job at removing illegal immigrants? Because when I voted for Trump. I voted for mass immigrations, and we're not having mass immigration. So
you mean mass deportations?
No, like mass deportations. Yeah.
You might have voted for mass
I'm
deportation.
sorry.
Yeah. So no, I would say because the thing is that So look at immigration as like the human body, right? The United States is the human body. First, you got to stop the bleeding. The bleeding was coming from the southwest border.
Right.
Stop the bleeding, right? We like a 90% plus drop in illegal aliens trying to cross into the country, right? Now that you stop the bleeding, now it's time to actually deal with the wound of the people that are actually here in the United States. That's where this interior enforcement is coming in because this has been the part that every politician has been too pussy to implement.
Right.
So that's where we are. Now, as a byproduct of that, they're also targeting students for anti-Semitism, which I think is retarded.
Yeah.
But the thing is that they're picking up a lot of other illegals as well. And who knows? Because I think if I'm not mistaken, the Mahmoud Khalil case, it was found unconstitutional to deport him.
It was. Yeah.
So
correct.
they tried, they failed. Right. That's why we're not hearing so much about them picking up college students anymore about Israel. It's not hitting the news like that. Because I think that set a pretty good precedent. So now they're kind of focusing more.
In terms of pure numbers, I don't think ICE is doing enough for mass deportations.
Remember, the pure numbers aren't going to be as high because they're not deporting people from the border anymore. A lot of these immigration statistics that have these crazy numbers, these are from catch and releases and deportations back from the border. So interior enforcement is never going to be able to keep up with deportations from the border. So that's why the numbers are skewed like that.
Okay. So my next question would be, if Trump has taken around $200 million this term from the Israeli lobby, and if their goal is mass immigration and white genocide, whatever you want to call it, if that's their goal, wouldn't it be kind of counterproductive that Trump is kind of aiding them while claiming to support mass deportations?
I'm a little confused by it. So it's hypocritical that he supports mass deportation.
While taking money from Israel who are supporting mass migration.
Well, the thing is that a lot of Israelis, even ones that were more progressive, have, suddenly all of a sudden become right-wing. And the reason why is because with October 7th of the war in Gaza, what it's done is it's kind of red-pilled a lot of them to realize, like, oh, we have to take a more conservative approach to our political ideology to deal with this conflict. This is why you got people like Bill Ackman and Alex Karp and Peter Thiel, he was a Zionist. You got all these guys who typically were, lifelong Democrats, progressives, coming over now to the conservative side, and it's because for the defense of Israel.
Right.
So that's kind of what it is.
Okay. All right.
And guys, by the way, don't be scared. Okay, if you got a disagreement, come on up. Whether it's ICE or women or Jews or
I just think the whole ICE thing with Trump, I think that's more of like feeding into people's wants rather than actually doing anything. Because
that was his main campaign thing. He ran on mass deportations. That was one of the top reasons people voted for him.
Right. All right. Thank you. That's all.
No worries. All right, let's get some fresh blood on the mic, man. Don't be scared, guys. You guys are seeing. You have an advantage. You've heard a lot of the things that I've said in my worldviews. If you got to come on over so they can hear you. Who asked that? Who asked that? You. Do I have any hot takes? I have plenty. I guess I see some new faces here. Yeah, men are superior to women. Jews control America. Blacks commit too much crime. You know, proportionate to their population size. What's up?
Oh, it says shout out everyone's supporting Myron. Hopefully we see you out here more. We need more people like this because the Jews definitely did 9/11.
They were involved. It wasn't just them, but yeah.
We need to wake up a lot more people about the truth because there's a lot of people here who are just like lying to themselves.
That aren't aware?
Yeah.
All right. Come on up, guys. Come on. No one bites. Don't be scared. Do we have... Yeah. Yeah, guys, let me see if I can look at Super Chats here for a second. I've been not looking at my phone too much. Shout out to Sean, by the way, in the back, making things happen. All my guys in the OSS, shout out to you guys. We should be live there as well. Hold on. Let me see if I can go into the stream here, at least on OSS. And I guess while we're waiting, you guys can go ahead and join the OSS for only $1. All you got to do is use the code LYouTube because YouTube is a fucking L. Worst platform ever. All right, what's up, man?
I'm curious about what you think about how the FBI has handled the whole like Charlie Kirk thing and the level of transparency that there's been.
I'll definitely say that, you know, what's going on right now is I don't like how they're approaching it. They're not being transparent enough on this case.
There's just too many weird things about
Yeah, too many. We have more questions than answers at this point.
Yeah.
And I think with the Charlie Kirk case, with the level of interest from the general public, I think it's nuts that we are not being a bit more transparent with it because at the end of the day, this is not a terrorism investigation. It's not a counterintelligence investigation, at least on the onset. It's a murder investigation. So the guy's been charged. He's in jail. Come out with the evidence, you know, restore public trust, right? Because I think at this point, American trust of the federal government and the government in general is very low. So I think what they need to do is take a case like this that has enormous public interest and be very transparent about it to regain that trust, right? I think, and I understand, because as someone that used to be a special agent, like I understand protecting the integrity of an investigation, but I also understand that a case of this magnitude and public interest, you got to take one for the team. And if the case loses a little bit of its integrity to regain public trust, I think that's a trade worth doing. So hopefully, but, you know, but I will say also, the FBI is not really running this case like that. It's actually the state police in Utah because they're the ones that actually charged. So, yeah. We good? Okay. Well, go ahead. That's it? I hope that answered your, okay.
I guess one more thing.
Go ahead.
I don't know, did you see like the text messages or?
Oh, that looked super shitty.
Yeah.
Again, like, you know, this is the problem is that, like, we have more questions than answers.
That's and like that part to me especially was just like,
yeah.
Nobody texts like that.
Absolutely nuts. You know, so, yeah, no, I agree, man. I agree. We have way more questions than answers. So, no worries. Anybody else want to come on?
How's it going?
Sorry, guys, I'm trying to pull up OSS right now. What's up, brother?
I was wondering, so, you know, you mentioned there's a lot more questions than answers. What do you think of the way that Candace Owens has been reporting and kind of talking about the subject? Do you think it's kind of creating more of that confusion or helping? Because she obviously cares a lot about Charlie. She was good friends with him.
Yeah.
But
I think, you know, some people might criticize her, say she's going too crazy, conspiracy, whatever. I think what she's doing is she's echoing. There's a reason why she has 100 to 200,000 people watching her live every time she goes.
Yeah.
And that if anything, is a testament to how people don't trust the government, right? And I think her popularity and surge in popularity over the past month due to this assassination should be a beacon to the government that they need to be more transparent, because if they don't fill in the holes and the gaps, other people will, right? So I think if anything, this is why they need to be transparent. Now, I like Candace. I've had her on the show. You know, I think she's probably one of the best, you know, female political commentators, if not the best. You know, I have a a great amount of respect for her because she leads with her brain versus her looks, right? She dresses modestly, etc. There's a reason why she's been able to build up her platform. Very brave in many different fronts. But I think this should be a sign from the government that they need to be more transparent.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Go ahead. Come on up. Come on up. I know you've been here for a minute. You probably got some questions or disagreements or I don't know. What's up?
What do you think of Candace Owens? Like how open she is about Charlie Kirk?
Yeah, like I said before, I think she's filling in a lot of the gaps for the American public that the government isn't, and that's why she's getting so many views right now.
But doesn't that put her in risk?
Of course, yeah. You know, telling the truth is always going to put you at risk for any topic, right? It just comes down to who are you telling the truth about and how dangerous are they? But being truthful about anything is always going to create inherent risk because there's always going to be people that have an incentive to continue lying for whatever different reason. That was it? Okay. All right, anybody else want to come on up to the mic? Agree, disagree with anything? We're out here hanging out. It's Charlie Kirk's birthday, so this stream is dedicated to him. Obviously, the First Amendment is one of the reasons why this is the best country in the world, despite the problems that we might have here or there. I still think we're better than these other first world countries like Canada, aka Canada, or Cuckstralia, right? Or the UK, the Cuck UK. What's up, man?
So I remember you. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. I feel like this is good.
After his questioning, we'll do it. So guys, chat. I'll look at some chats here, guys. After this one.
Yeah.
OSS guys.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm only doing OSS super chats, guys. So join OSS, only $1 L YouTube.
Okay,
go ahead,
so I know you talked to Haas from the Infrared podcast back in the ACP.
Yep.
And you were just talking about Canada, right?
Yes.
So my question is, do you think Canada should be part of the United States? Do you think that they have any sovereignty? No? Why not?
No, they're cooked.
They're cooked?
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, they're cooked. Mass immigration has destroyed that country.
I mean, so our country too, right?
It's slowly destroying us.
Yeah.
And we're going to be like them soon if we don't reel this in.
So you don't want us to help our brothers out in the north?
Nah.
Really?
I think they're a good ally, but bringing them in as a state is...
Not as a state, multiple states.
Yeah, or potentially multiple states because it's so big. No, I don't think so.
Okay,
I think it's a failed nation in general.
Failed nation?
It's a failed nation. So is the UK. So is Australia. Like, we're the last ones really left. And I think this is why we need to be very cautious of, how we run this country in our future, because if we don't, we're going to be like these other countries.
Okay.
Fair.
Okay. What do you think of have you read the program of the ACP?
The what?
The program of the American Communist Party that Haas
no.
founded.
So I'm familiar with it.
Yeah.
Obviously I get along with, Jackson, Hinkle, and Haas. Shout out to those guys. Even though they're communists, I think that's an example of, though I disagree with them, maybe politically or ideologically, they're still good guys. I get along with them. I've had them on the show. I think hearing other perspectives is great.
Yeah, okay.
But I haven't read the actual thing all the way. But
I think you should read it sometime if you have the time.
Yeah, I mean, I think Jackson and Haas kind of explained it to me to a degree, which, and I'm, not doing it all the way justice. But basically, less government control of certain infrastructures, which I've always been kind of confused about because, that's kind of what communism is. But I'll have to have him back on the show and discuss it.
Yeah,
I think he just got his YouTube back, so we'll bring Jackson back to kind of like, iron it out.
All right, awesome. Could I take a selfie with you?
Yeah, sure, man.
Okay, thank you.
Take a selfie. While you do that, can we get some of those chats?
All right, thank you, man.
No problem, man. Cool. Oh, yeah, that's fine. It should be on OS. I'll show you how real quick. I'm still here. Guys, come on up to the mic. Don't be scared. Any topics, questions? Oh, man, this feels nice standing up again. But, yeah. Anybody disagreements, questions, comments, concerns? Wait, do we have to leave in 20 minutes? Oh, that's battery life? All right. What was that? Yeah. So, do you want to cut over to Rumble? Yeah, I can. Yeah, we can cut to. Let's cut to Rumble, I guess. Yeah, because people were telling me the stream is lagging a lot. Oh, but this is way earlier. Yeah, I'm looking at some of these chats. Yeah, we can cut. You're going to keep your YouTube up? Yeah, keep yours up. All right, so what I'll do is let me drop Uncensored America's stream here in the chat real quick. And then we'll kind of go uncensored. What was that? Oh, I'll show you right now. So, guys, quick little thing here. So all you ninjas watching on YouTube, I'm going to give you guys, here is the link that I want you guys to go to. This is Uncensored America on YouTube. Or, guys, go to my Rumble or my Kick, Myron Gaines X. But I am going to get off on, we got what? I think between all platforms, we got like 10,000 of you guys over here. So we'll end we got like 10,000. So we'll end my YouTube stream, guys. Come on over to my Rumble, Myron Gaines X, or, okay, sure, Myron Gaines X on my Rumble or Uncensored America's YouTube channel, which I just gave you guys right now. We're going to get uncensored here in a second, so come on over. Go to Uncensored America. The link is pinned in the chat. Link is pinned in the chat. Go ahead and end the YouTube one.